Hello and welcome back to the SNHU Esports Arena. My name is Sholey. I'm joined here with Make-A-Wish Kid Joseph.
Hello.
Joe, how are we feeling about tonight's game of
Feeling pretty
Smash?
good. I'm definitely excited. We didn't actually get to cast Yellow's last game because it was during another broadcast, but I'm very excited to see them play.
Yeah, me too. We were originally planning to stream Blue today, but due to some things happening behind the scenes, we are now streaming Yellow tonight, which is going to be a lot of fun. We have not seen Yellow in a hot minute, so I'm really excited to check in with them up against the New England Tech Tigers, who right now New England Tech Tigers are 2-1. SNHU Yellow is 1-2, so definitely might be a little bit of an uphill battle here, but I'm excited to see what comes out here.
Yeah, hopefully we can even up the score. I'm really excited to see sort of how this goes. Last time we saw some promise with SNHU Yellow, so I'm definitely excited.
Just heard from our little person in my ear that we're gonna have Min Min versus Sheik as our first matchup. It's gonna be, I believe, a Font Diner Swanky versus Royal T. He representing the New England Tech Tigers. Let's go ahead and hop into game. This is an interesting matchup, not one you see too often.
Yeah, I don't really see this too often. I'm not exactly sure who wins. I definitely say really whoever can just get neutral control first. Most likely. Min Min's definitely very good with neutral control, same with Sheik, but Min Min might have a hard time zoning Sheik out just because of how fast she is.
Yeah, that is definitely going to be, I think, the main point of contention, and it seems like already Swanky's having a tough time establishing his presence. Immediately as I say that, though, he is going to get some hits off of the ledge, but Royal T, he's going to immediately make his way right back up. There's some really good space control coming out from this Min Min. That F smash is not going to go exactly where he wants it. Now Sheik's starting to build up some damage here, continuing on the offensive even after he drops down from that platform.
Oh, one thing that I definitely think is that Sheik probably has a better recovery than Min Min, most likely. Min Min kind of has to hang there for a second, so it's very easy for Sheik to sort of edgeguard that, especially with needles. In general, I think Min Min kind of has to play around needles this match, just because they're so detrimental on good combo starters and kill confirms for Sheik.
Now at 107%, just barely getting back up in time, almost getting caught by that grenade there, but now going to get a good grab onto Royal T. He who has to try and land here into Swanky. Fortunately will be able to, but not going to be able to stay grounded for long as he tries to recover here. Putting up the shield, trying to close in this distance, trying to just actually a big clash there. And now going to see Teehee securing control of this legend. Very nicely done from Swanky on the reflect.
That was very well timed. I'm excited to see that. I honestly forgot that Min Min's up smash was a reflector.
Just a lot of little things like that, just very, very niche use case scenarios. They're coming out very nicely here for Swanky, who's still maintaining this lead despite being at 120%. We're seeing now Teehee just establishing control of the center stage, but Swanky doesn't care. He's able to just kind of pelt it into him with his long-range normals.
Yeah, right now what we're sort of waiting to see is just Min Min sort of taking the stage control. They're doing a really good job at getting these confirmed with these couple hits on platforms when she finishes techs. So I think definitely she probably has better edge guarding, but I think Min Min is pretty good as well.
Yeah, now has this pretty significant life lead at the moment. Swanky good, perfect parry coming out. Trying to just farm for it right now. Is able to finally hit it, now getting some more advantage here, but just, I mean, at the moment, it doesn't really matter for Swanky where he is on the stage. He's able to hit Royal Teehee from so far away with that laser, with the Dragon's Breath coming out, but a good grab into another parry on the Rapid Jab. Will be able to punish it. Are you serious?
Gets the down smash. I'm not sure if they went under a low profile forward tilt. I'm not exactly sure what happened there, but very good down smash. When I said Sheik has better edge guarding, I more meant ledge trapping because Sheik's side B is very, very good for sort of covering space. And in general, her needles can sort of trap at ledge and go into a lot of her kill confirms. But I think Min Min can definitely abuse Sheik's bad recovery options. So I think this game should be pretty interesting.
Yeah, definitely a lot of ways that Swanky can play around the ledge here with these long-range attacks and with a lot of ability to kind of track them and choose exactly where they go. Definitely a scary situation to be in when you're being pressured by Min Min. This character has been popular overseas in professional play, but Royal T, he just cannot hit the ground. Is only able to get underneath Swanky here, caught him on the platform, now starting to take him up, but still maintaining onto a pretty significant lead here for Swanky. He's going to be able to hit a nice shot there on Teehee, going to hit him up to 119%, now has the ledge advantage.
And one thing that He's going to have to watch out for is Min Min's next.
Oh!
Parry
The
down
parry?
smash.
What an insane parry. I mean, he was absolutely just trying to farm for those parries that whole time, right? And that was you love to see that. You love to see the parry coming out and working for him in that situation, because that was exactly what he's looking for. That was the game plan he was trying to go for.
Yeah, definitely. He played really well during that match, just taking center control, as we mentioned before, and really abusing Sheik's low damage in general.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And Min Min is a character that we have barely seen on stream. I think maybe once before.
Yeah,
it's not been for very long, and not to super great success. So finally getting to see Min Min kind of pop out, do some good damage here. Win a game pretty solidly with a 2-stock lead there. Gonna hold on to those going into the next match as well. So we could see a lot more of this Min Min to come if they continue to keep up and play at this level.
Yeah. I think Min Min in general also is a very versatile character. They can be played into a lot of matchups. Really, they only have trouble with rushdown type characters. So I think Min Min's definitely a good starter. They have very good edge guarding potential, just sort of keeping people away. And they can their hitboxes will go under the ledge, so it can actually catch people's recoveries really easily. So I think Min Min's definitely a good starter.
All right, we're going to see a Cloud coming out from the New England Tech Tigers. Another interesting pick. We've seen a little bit of Cloud, more so than Min Min, but it's mostly been from SNHU, mostly from the SNHU Blue Team, who have there's a Cloud somewhere in their character pool, and we've seen them come out a little bit, but haven't seen it from Yellow as far as I'm aware. So should be interesting to see exactly how different they are between these two teams. Always kind of interesting to see. I mean, when you have two teams that are in two different divisions, and if they play the same characters, how are they different, and what how are the play styles really expressed? Which it should be something interesting that we get to see in this upcoming matchup.
Yeah, I think that this is definitely going to be an uphill battle for New England Tech Tigers. Cloud I wouldn't call it a good matchup into Min Min at all.
Yeah.
However, when Cloud has advantage, basically just hitting around Min Min wherever they want. But them getting out of combos and stuff is extremely difficult. Cloud doesn't have a lot of options to really get into Min Min zoning. Like, their neutral B will be caught by forward tilts and stuff, and their aerials just aren't fast enough or safe enough to really do things. However, if they can get in on Min Min, they can probably close out a stock really easily.
Yeah, I think that pressure, once it actually starts, is going to be very tough to deal with. Especially when you run into a situation where, I mean, Cloud has so many good options when he's just hitting into your shield, right? And he, especially with Limit, he is just a Swiss Army knife of deadly lethal options, which I think for Min Min, if they're unable to actually zone out Cloud, going to be a really, really scary moment for them.
Yeah, one thing that I'd also like to see is abusing sort of those ledge options with Min Min, sort of hitting Cloud's recovery. Cloud doesn't necessarily have the best recovery, so seeing Min Min sort of going deep, I'm sort of excited to see.
All right, already starting off with some decent damage here, just controlling the pace of this game, but firing right back. And this is kind of what you're going to see here, Min Min just running away and just firing off these long-range tilt attacks and specials, but we're seeing Board already has taken a pretty significant amount of damage, now 84% on the ledge as well, has to try and play around Min Min here, and for Cloud, he doesn't have a ton of great options to really get back up without Limit.
One thing that I'd also like to mention is that Kalos is a very, very good pick into Min Min, because Min Min can't drop her arms down under the platform, so they can't really edge guard Cloud as good as you might think on other stages.
That said, though, if Min Min's able to get Cloud up on those upper platforms, it's going to be very tough for him to actually stay alive, as they're so close to the blast zone here. And speaking of staying alive, already 130%. A tough spot to be in for Board right now. Trying to get in, is able to close the distance, starting to charge up a little bit, trying to go off the ledge. Knows he has to play a little bit riskier, play for a little bit of a higher reward if he wants to make up some of this difference. He does still have that stock lead, but he's able to find something here. You won't be able to. A fantastic read rolls through the Omni Slash and punishes it. Now evening things up with 2-2, but Swanky, it's a little bit of a life deficit here. Yeah,
right now it seems like SNHU is doing really well sort of zoning the Cloud, as we mentioned. Cloud has a hard time getting in, and he doesn't really have good options as his zoners, but Min Min's doing a really good job right now.
Now starting to try and get in. Is able to actually, just continue to play this keep away, just trying to play exactly outside of Cloud's effective range. which is decent. You know, he's got a decent size on that. But, oh, fantastic offstage play there from Borgen. Drop down, get the Omni Slash. Find that kill. Drop Swanky down to 1 stock left. Swanky is going to have to play pretty aggressive here if he wants to be able to make up the difference. He's going to have a very, very strong control over this stage. And at the moment, that's exactly what he's got here. I think this map massively benefits him.
Yeah, right now what we want to see from Cloud in general is sort of abusing Min Min's disadvantage. Really, as we're seeing right now, just sort of keeping them on ledge and sort of using Oh, the Gimp coming out. Very unfortunate. And that's really what you have to watch out for. Cloud's recovery isn't very good, so it's just sad to see.
And he was so close to limit, too. If he had just gotten a little bit more time to charge up, he would have lived that. He would have been able to get back up, but Swanky is continuing to just control the stage right now, and the whiff on the Nair is going to give him a big opportunity to actually punish this going forward as he just continues to keep the pressure up. And that hits!
Laser?
All right,
wow.
I guess he's just that guy.
Yeah.
I guess he's just that guy. He's gonna take two people out here from New England Tech, take 2 of them out, all right?
Yeah.
And he's still holding on to 1 stock.
Yeah, he's just, you know, that guy, and Cloud's definitely not that guy.
Oh, no. In that moment, in that freeze frame, he was the wrong guy to be. Unfortunately, you hate to see that. But for Min Min, this is great because I feel like even when you have 1 stock left, you know, getting that reset down to 0%, right, and really getting to work off of a fresh stock, you get a ton of time to actually get control over the stage. And if they don't allow you, rather, if they don't pressure you and they allow you to create a ton of space, I think Min Min can absolutely work even at a life deficit.
Yeah, in general, it's not a very good matchup for Cloud. Cloud just gets zoned so easily, as you were mentioning. It just, like, really what Cloud wants to do is go in and sort of keep advantage, but it's just so hard to get in, especially with the lag on his aerials. They're good on shield, but, like, other than that, like, if he lands and whiffs, Min Min can just punish so hard and just keep that center control.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we saw, right? I mean, all she really has to do is just keep away from Cloud. And even though Cloud has got, you know, a decently large effective range, he still has a limit to his effective range, right? It's hard to say Min Min has that. You know, she can control so much of the screen. It's like, if you are within 70% of the screen of her, you're at danger of getting hit. And then even with the laser, that's like 90%.
They did that from, like, mid-stage.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like, Min Min has such incredible range and edge guarding potential. Cloud has such an abusable vertical recovery that it's just so easy for Min Min, as we saw, to just gimp Cloud with the, you know, that hook.
Yeah.
And especially with the laser. It's just it's really well played as well in general, just knowing exactly what options to sort of bait out and punish, sort of just running away from Cloud. Like, I didn't see a single side B hit that game from Cloud, which was just sad.
Well, he did go off the ledge.
Yeah, he got the limit side B.
He got the one off the ledge, which was a really big moment for him. If he didn't get that, he would not have found that second stock.
Yeah.
But for Swanky, the fact that he held on to that last one for so long, or the fact that he held on to that final stock throughout the entire time Cloud had a ton of pressure there. There was a point where it looked like Swanky, he was on the ledge, he had 1 stock left, and he was able to just jump right over Cloud on the ledge, and just that one read is what really put Cloud in a spot where he was now the one on the ledge, the one that got pressured, and eventually the one that got hit with a laser from 90% of the screen away.
Yeah, it's just, it's very, very difficult for Cloud, and you know, as we were saying, Min Min's a very versatile character. She really only has trouble into those rushdown matchups, sort of like Fox, or I could say, I guess, Martha and Lucina, Roy maybe. But it's into Cloud. It's just such, you know, easy sort of bread and butter. Like, you know how to zone them away. You know exactly what to do. Sort of read their jumps off ledge. Sort of just get them out there and then gimp their recovery, as we saw in that second stock. Yeah,
just great control over the ledge. And I think, you know, like I said, if Swanky is able to actually get control over this game very early on, this could be really, really good for him. I mean, it's already incredible that he's taken out 2 and he's still holding on. He's going for a 3rd, right? Yeah. And now going up against Samus. This is interesting. Interesting matchup because Samus is definitely going to be trying to zone him out a lot.
Yeah. I could see a lot of Zairs, and in general, Min Min's up smash is good, but it can't really reflect the Zair coming out from Samus.
Hey, I'm glad to see Moist Bean there is enjoying some Enter the Gungeon.
Yep.
We forgot to turn for notifications off. It's all right. Let's go and get started with this set. Southern New Hampshire versus New England Tech. This is Ratchet representing the Samus as Swanky continues on the warpath here. Already building up some damage. Getting this ledge pressure, already 60% here, and continuing to just pressure at 88. Now that almost killed outright.
Got hit back into their bomb that they sent and just got hit by that laser. Was crazy. You know, really what we're just going to want to see. Oh my God.
No way.
It's insane. Yeah, Samus's coverage is so abusable in this matchup. Like, you could just see Min Min going for really anything that they want. Like, Samus can't really down B. This is crazy so far.
And we saw some reflector usage a little bit earlier, too. This is definitely a great matchup to have that as well, but Ratchet just has not had time to actually get these projectiles going and alive. And now he's stuck on this upper platform again, starting to move in, is not able to secure that center stage, will be able to take it back from Swanky, but he's just continuing to run at him and throw punches, and it's going great. He's got the arms for it, and he's going to find another kill!
Forward smash coming out. That was insane. It's like, I'm not really sure what Samus really does in the matchup. They can't really get center control at all. Their disadvantage is just really, really bad. Min Min just has complete and utter control right now.
It's already 73%. I thought Ratchet just respawned, and we're already seeing 73%. Now 85, 88 coming out. The number just keeps going up. 104. He just spawned.
Yeah, this is honestly really sad for New England Tech Tigers. Like, really, it's extremely hard. Samus doesn't have a charge shot, you know, charged up. Gets another forward smash. Just ran through Samus.
What can you say? I think we've proven here sufficiently that Swanky is that guy.
Yeah, he is that guy.
He's that guy. And there's not much you can do against that guy.
Yeah, you can't
right?
do very much.
You're gonna have to
Not
hope that the Tech Tigers, that their anchor can really handle that guy, because at the moment no one's been able to handle that guy.
Yeah, no one can handle him. He's just too powerful. He's too strong right now. He just has so much range. It's just insane.
It is. Min Min feels like one of those characters where if you don't know the matchup intimately, then you are just going to get rocked, because the options that Min Min has are so tough to deal with, and you got to know exactly what you're playing into. It's playing into any zoner. You know, you have to know how to get around their game plan. Otherwise, they're just going to be able to run it out, and it's not going to be very interactive, which is what we've been seeing. You know, these have not been interactive matchups. This has just kind of been like, oh, Min Min hit me once, and now she's going bop, bop, bop. I'm 30% of the screen away. I'm completely a different hemisphere, and she's still hitting me. She's still pressuring me. And there's not much you can really do about it other than just not be in that situation in the first place.
Yeah,
you know?
She can just hit you all the way from Antarctica. It's like crazy. She can be halfway across the stage and still like gimp you with a laser at like very side. Really, in general, Min Min's matchup is just like she either wins or she loses.
Yeah.
Like either they're a rushdown character, either they're a rushdown character, and Min Min just outright loses, barely takes any stocks, can do no damage because they're just pressuring her so hard, or it's just, you know, Min Min just wins because they could just edge guard them so heavily and just play neutral games so well. Min Min just has so many options. And from what I just heard, are you playing into an Isabel?
That is what we just heard. The little people in our ear have confirmed it. We are going into Isabel to anchor things out for the Tech Tigers. Interesting is all I can really say about this.
Yeah.
Isabel is a very situational character. As we like to say in League of Legends, when we see a strange draft, we go, oh, that character seems situational.
Yeah.
Isabel is one of those characters where I feel like if she cannot run her game plan, she is dead in the water.
I honestly don't even know what her game plan is. It's going to be very hard, especially
get you off the ledge and try and throw the fishing pole at you?
I guess.
We'll see.
I think Min Min can also destroy Isabel's down Bs as well on sort of her Lloyds. I'm not really sure what Isabel could do, but those forward airs could be something to sort of watch out for. Not really sure sort of the zoner matchup that these two characters have, as both characters are zoners. Isabel is not a rushdown character at all, but maybe Isabel will be able to play around Min Min's range. Unsure.
Yeah, hopefully we get to see Smooth bust out the Isabel game plan that we aren't quite sure about yet. And actually, yeah, right there, just destroying that seed that was planted. And now 33% already, getting pressured off the side. Scary recovery there, but is going to actually be able to get back up. But Swanky's just continuing to throw out these giant hitboxes that cover the entire stage.
Yeah, it's just going to be so hard for Isabel to approach because a lot of her approach options are very linear, sort of either using her dash attack or forward air. But Min Min can just cover so much horizontal range that it's so hard to really get in and do much. Like, as we can see, Isabel's already at 100%. It's going to be a really difficult match.
Yeah, Swanky, the name of the game for him right now is to just do as much as he can without taking damage. And what a gimp coming out, but not going to be able to stop Isabel. That recovery is able to come up from so far down, but it is like
Isabel's just so light coming from center stage off top.
That was a wild kill. I was
Yeah.
not ready for that one. But Swanky now on the disadvantage here. Smooth goes deep, trying to just continue to gimp him here, and he's not going to be able to get back up.
Well, we did take a stock, which, you know, that's
Hey,
pretty good.
he was good for one. He was good for one. That's all you can ask for there when he's already been going so far in. But as you saw on that scoreline, it's 2-10.
Yeah.
SNHU are still hanging on to a pretty healthy pool of stocks right now. They've got 3 players left to go through. Smooth does not. He cannot. He's gonna have to fight one of these 3 matchups that are left in front of him without losing a single stock.
Yeah, and it's going to be extremely difficult. In general, Isabel isn't really considered to be the best character.
No.
She's very light. Her approach options are very, very linear. She basically approaches in the exact same way every time, either with dash attack or forward air. And her Lloyds and stuff don't really work into zoners, sort of people that can just play back. But one thing good for her is that a lot of characters on SNHU Yellow aren't other zoners and aren't characters that can really get into her options if she just zones properly and plays back.
Well, you say most. You say most. You know,
yes.
it is the rest of the roster here. You know, you're looking at. I mean, the Min player Swanky also plays Kazuya. So
Yep.
that's one of the 3 FGC characters down, right? You also have got
We got a Robin and Lucas,
got,
right?
You got Ryu and Terry in there in the pool somewhere. We don't know who's not playing in this game. So only 4 of these 5 players will actually be in. And then you got Lucas and Robin. I think Lucas and Robin are exactly who you want coming up. And we're going to have at least one of them in the pool.
Yeah, Lucas, Robin, even I would kind of say Ryu, even to some extent Ken.
It's Ryu.
It is Ryu.
Ryu versus Isabel.
So I think Ryu in general has very good zoning options. If Ryu can play back and not approach and just sort of make Isabel feel scared with their stock down and have Isabel approach onto them, it will be really good. Ryu can't approach very well as a character. He wants people to approach into him, especially with his Shakunetsus and other abilities like a side B, parrying his down B in general. So seeing Ryu into this match, I think, is really good. I'm also not sure. I think Ryu's Shakunetsu goes through Isabel's pellets from her forward air, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
Be interesting matchups, or be interesting interaction in this matchup for sure. I think Isabel definitely, just going to be looking to zone out, because the moment that she actually goes in to try and pressure Ryu with some air attacks or some tilts is going to be the moment that he puts his shield up and then gets a punish combo.
Yeah, exactly.
And then at that point, you've got like a 200-pound Japanese man punching a dog in the head, and that just doesn't end well. Isabel is so light that I think, she gets true Shoryuken at like 70%, and she could die.
Oh, even less probably.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, I'll say like 50, 60% is when you start to be like, oh my god, that almost killed me.
Yeah, one reason why I said Ken before is Ken's also a rushdown character that can abuse her just bad frame data in general.
Yes.
But sort of the same thing with Ryu as well. The characters are sort of similar. Ken's more rushdown, Ryu's more laid back and wants people to approach onto him. But either way, it's just going to be hard. Isabel doesn't have a lot of good matchups. She's ranked pretty low on the tier list. Going to be an uphill battle.
Yeah, at the very most, she does have a weird toolkit, right? Which is to say, if you don't know the Isabel matchup, which you probably don't know a lot of people that play Isabel, right? If you don't know the matchup, there could be some things that could catch you a little bit off guard.
She does have an infinite.
She does. That is true.
But it's like a almost frame perfect infinite.
It is almost frame perfect, but this game's been out for a while, right?
Yeah.
Who doesn't have their frame perfect?
I don't think Diddy Kong even has an infinite still, right?
I don't know.
Is she the only character with an infinite in the game right now?
She needs it.
She does. Actually, though, she does need it. But right now we're seeing Battlefield come out as a stage option. Honestly, I think this is really good for Ryu. Even though stage or platforms are good for Isabel, Ryu being able to just sit under a platform is just so helpful to his game plan, which is just to stay back and really just let Isabel come into him. But it doesn't really seem like he's going that. I think Ryu's pretty confident right now, going into sort of Isabel, just trying to scrap.
Yeah, and I think for Isabel, being at 40% on that top platform, you're already in a situation where you're like, I need to be very careful about when I actually get hit. But that pot almost going to go for the hit. The shore you can just barely reach in. Going to pop a balloon on his way back down. Focus Attack is doing a lot of heavy lifting here on the approach. He's trying to block some of these hits. A 62% for Smooth. Ron has been taking a lot of damage just from this constant zoning, though.
So as we saw before, like a second ago, it does seem like Isabel's forward air
Oh!
does stop Shakanetsu, which is pretty good into the matchup. But it's just so hard. Isabel's such a light character that if they get upbeat or even up smash, like forward tilted, it's going to be so hard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, just walk up.
Yeah,
just walk
just
up and do that.
Walk up and up smash, you
Yeah,
know?
why
It's the
not?
classic.
Why not? And now Smooth, who only has one stock left, has to deal with playing into Ron, who now has 2.
Yeah, it's going to be really bad uphill battle, but sort of Isabel just trying to zone out Ryu is really the option here.
Now being up on that platform is not what she wants, but Ryu trying to approach. Just a little bit of a weird situation for him at the moment. Want to see these fireballs doing a little bit more work, but now is off the ledge. Will be able to recover with that Tatsu, but just getting juggled on these platforms.
Yeah, really what we're seeing is just very good gameplay by the Isabel, sort of just abusing Ryu's sort of low frame data and just getting those quick, easy counters. And now we see Isabel with the Shakanetsu. That's also a very good play into this matchup.
He's barely not hitting that up tilt there, and the seed for that Lloyd Rocket has been planted as he starts to approach again that Tatsu. Deflecting that pot, very good interaction there for Ryu that does clash and allows him to continue to play forward because that is a good gimp tool for Isabel.
Right now we're sort of just seeing neutral being played, you know, footsies right now. And if Ryu lands even like a couple of hits, Isabel's just dead. But oh, almost killed, but seems like it didn't. Ryu still, in general, is just recovering really well.
Nicely done, but now it's to try and play around this disadvantage state for Isabel, but going to get knocked back full screen and has to worry about playing the ledge for himself now. Almost had a chance to punish that there, but another stock down for Rot, and Smooth is running the gauntlet right now.
Honestly, I think SNHU's game plan is just try to rack up damage and not necessarily care about stocks right now. They do have a bunch of other players, and this is a blast on New England Tech Tigers. So really, if they can just get Isabel up to a high percent, land one true Shoryuken, it's just over.
Yeah, caught on that ledge a little bit there, walking up. We'll be able to get a good hit there. Send Isabel off the ledge. Those 2 frames not going to hit. Those balloons are eating up a lot of attacks here, but almost killed, just barely not going off the top. Smooth hanging on here as Rod almost going to the F smash again, just throwing out these moves. Going to hit with the focus attack, has a chance to press the advantage here, but doesn't want to push it too far. Focus attack again, but not going to take any armor hits there. As he tries to get back up, will go down off the edge, and Smooth stays alive at 143%. Did lose a stock in this matchup, so I mean, at some point here, Smooth is going to have to win one of these fights without losing a stock.
Yeah.
For actually, like, the rest of these.
Yeah. I think, honestly, that was probably a misinput that happened sort of at ledge there. Ryu was sort of angling down, and they sort of probably misinputted a side B, trying to sort of throw it an aerial, which was pretty sad. But really, Isabel was doing what they wanted to do. Ryu was sort of approaching more, so Isabel had options to whiff punish Ryu and sort of keep them at the edge, which is exactly what we saw Isabel do, sort of their exact game plan.
Yeah, and we did get a good look at kind of what Isabel's looking to achieve there. And I think that maybe a little bit of an unfortunate matchup for Ryu, maybe just trying to get that Ryu out there, field him so they can get a little bit warmed up for this next set coming up if they're looking to play him more, because I think Ryu does have some good matchups in this pool, just unfortunately not that one. But hey, they've got plenty of players to still go through at this point. There's no harm in just getting that Ryu out there, seeing what he can do before you send in some of the better matchups.
Yeah, really right now what we're just looking to see is sort of a Lucas or Robin come out, which I think definitely has a good matchup into Isabel. I'm not actually sure about Robin, but I definitely think Lucas does. Lucas has very good approach options, very good frame data, and sort of just the ability to do whatever. Lucas also has a bunch of pseudo-infinites as well, but I don't know if those will come out.
Yeah, we'll have to see what this next matchup is. It's going to be a big, well, hearing it now, Robin coming out, Robin versus Isabel. So for Smooth right here, I think this is an interesting matchup, right? Because it's zoner versus zoner, right? Isabel will be able to pocket some of Robin's abilities, which could prove out to be good for her, but we'll have to see exactly how many opportunities are given here, because Robin also, you know, could throw out an ability, tries to pocket it, walk up, just 11 sword. You know, it's a tough situation to be in. There's definitely a little bit of layers that go into Robin's game here that I think might be a little bit difficult to play around.
Yeah, one thing that we're definitely going to have to look out for is either Isabel pocketing a Thorin or one of Arcfires.
Yeah.
Because Arcfire can combo into a lot of stuff for Isabel in general. Isabel has a couple good combos. Not too many. She has a lot of just like quick, easy confirms, but they do a decent amount of damage. So throwing in a side B in there, you know, an Arcfire, or using a Thorin as a kill option could be really good for Isabel.
Yeah, I'm excited to see exactly how this plays out. It's going to definitely be a very big skill matchup here, but it's doubtless to say SNHU have a big advantage going into this. You know, they've got 3 stocks going in. Smooth. It's not working very much gas in the tank. He's going to have to really, really show out completely against these final 2 players for SNHU. And just at the moment, it's looking unlikely just because of how hard of a task that will be. But, of course, there are always going to be upsets. There is always a chance, and that's all he needs.
Yep. In general, their game plan looked very good last match, so I definitely think they have the skill to sort of go on further. But really, they're just going to have to be looking out for Robin. A lot of Robin's just sort of zoning options, using quick, very good neutral Bs, sort of to zone out Isabelle, because I don't think Isabelle's forwarder can come out quick enough to really react to it. And then another thing is that Robin has Leffen Sword, which is a very big thing in this matchup. Robin hits hard. Like, really hard, like, weirdly hard. You can just get killed from a random nair sort of outside the ledge, or even just an up smash out of shield, which is really, really powerful. Robin also has very good kill confirms with side B, using the ability to sort of keep people in that hit stun of side B to sort of either up smash them or really down smash any smash attack in general. So Isabelle's definitely going to have to look out for those sort of options that Robin's looking for.
Yeah, and I mean, she's so light that it is going to it already hits hard when you're playing a middleweight character. When you're playing Isabelle, it's going to be rough. It's going to be very, very rough. And I think especially with the recovery on Isabelle, with how slow it is and how hard it is to kind of juke things out, it could be a little bit of a sore point there as well.
I think also one thing that Robin has pretty good is that down smash is a decent 2-frame option.
Yes.
In general, it can hit under ledge just because it has this really weird grounded hitbox. So I think those can probably pop Isabelle's balloons, but I just don't know if it's low enough to kill her.
Yeah, we'll have to see exactly. I mean, there is with Isabelle, right? She seems to just have, just because of the way her kit works, she has so many matchup-specific interactions.
Yeah.
She's got just these ton of little things that either minorly inconvenience her or minorly inconvenience the other person, right? It's a lot of little tiny things with the way that things interact with her kit. It's definitely very much like matchup knowledge dependent, and I think it's going to kind of be. I mean, like I was saying earlier, if you don't know the Isabelle matchup, a lot of that stuff might be able to catch you off guard.
Yeah, definitely.
She's got weird options that you do not see on a lot of the other casts.
Like, her dash attack is used as, like, an edge guarding tool, which is very weird. That's not really for a lot of other characters. And in general, her fairs and back airs come out at different timings, which can throw people off guard depending on which way she's facing. And also her turn-ups, when she uses her downers and up airs, send at different angles. So if the Isabelle's able to react to the pull animation, she can sort of get different combos or even a spike, really dependent on the character, though.
Yeah, and that's very hard. That is very, very hard to actually react to and be able to get a combo off of that. But it happens. These Isabelle plays, like I said, this game's been out for a while. It might not be an infinite. It might not be a frame-perfect infinite that we see coming out. But still, a lot of room for some silly tech to come out in the favor of Isabelle. Let's go ahead and get into this. Robin versus Isabelle.
On Kalos, honestly, I'm a bit surprised. It sort of makes sense. Isabelle really wants to sort of zone with these big spaces. But in general, I would have liked to see a Battlefield come out, sort of something that restricts both players' movements. Those are really good into a lot of zoner matchups, so honestly, a little surprised.
Now let's go ahead. I mean, already, Smooth starting to build up a little bit of damage here. Starting to play off the ledge immediately. Dash attack not going to be too good on that 2-frame option, but just zoner versus zoner at the moment. Both sides just trying to really get some damage here in the neutral game, but Smooth is definitely winning out in terms of these exchanges.
This looks like a very, very good play from Smooth. In general, they're kind of just using Robin's sort of very slow attacks to their advantage and just getting off these nice quick combos. Oh! Robin hasn't even hit them yet. That's kind of crazy right now. In general, Robin's going to want to look for is sort of just Isabelle sort of having a downtime in general to hit sort of a neutral V or some type of ability. Like sort of now, getting those quick, easy confirms with Arc Fire and up smash.
Yeah, definitely seeing a little bit of damage coming out from Smooth so far, but Blast just trying to get warmed up here, trying to find a good opportunity to get these good hits in and control some space, but these tools that Isabelle has are just really, really good at just poking you from long distance and interrupting whatever you're trying to do, which for Robin, like you said, these long casting animations are definitely a little bit of an issue in this matchup.
Yeah. One thing that's really hard for Robin in general is just don't have really good disadvantage options because Robin has some very bad tilts. In general, they don't kill and they don't really send that far away from them, so it's pretty difficult. But it looks like Robin probably has better edge guarding potential.
Okay.
Getting the down smash lingering hitbox, very, very good.
All right. I mean, just pick up the kill like that. I mean, I feel like against lightweights, it's always a little bit anticlimactic when stuff actually does kill. Unfortunately, took the glass. They're too small for my head. We're talking about this, but yeah, no, a matchup like that is definitely like Robin is going to have some trouble actually establishing control, and then in one hit the match is over.
Yeah, in general, it's like Jigglypuff Ganondorf. Jigglypuff can hit as much as they want, but just a random S smash at like like 20%, and Jigglypuff just dead. It's sort of the same thing with this. Robin's weapon sword just does so much damage, especially charged at the edge like that, and just Isabel's so light. It's just so sad.
I mean, that just kind of goes to show not all of these characters are created equal, right? You see characters like Min Min or like Robin who are, they do not die nearly as early as Isabel, and they arguably have much stronger zoning options. So we'll actually get to see a little bit more of this of the player pool here on the New England Tech Tigers after this short break. And we're excited to see how they play, kind of knowing the matchup knowledge so far. So we'll be back in just a few minutes.
Also a cast. Okay, so right now I'm currently missing my co-caster, but we're going to get into this game real quick. He's going to the bathroom at the moment. Right now we're seeing a Terry into Captain Falcon matchup. In general, I think that Terry probably has a sort of even matchup with Captain Falcon. They really want to be doing the sort of the same thing, but we're just seeing a lot of scrapping and brawling right now. Sort of Terry just getting those really quick power dunks. That almost killed. Terry sort of just looking for an edge guard here. Will Captain Falcon sort of just jump off ledge? Not really sure what's going to happen. Captain Falcon is at a higher percent. Both characters are sort of just zoning each other right now, sort of just playing neutral game, looking for the quick kill to come through. Jab Jab Power Dunk does actually kill. Right now, we're sort of just looking at two brawling type characters, sort of just scrapping as much as possible.
good hit there from Terry to actually start to build up a little bit of damage here on Strider, but at the moment, Falcon's just been able to build up so much. These crack shoots are finding some value here, but just throwing these out is not building up the pressure that he really needs here. Almost a chance for a combo, but not going to be able to find that shoulder charge, and will be able to get go meter here, but very much struggling to get right back up. Trumped on the ledge and just going to fall.
Oh, that was very, very sad. You went to the bathroom for a second, didn't you?
Yeah, I came back and there was a match going.
So, as I was sort of saying, in general, both of these characters are very sort of scrappy, brawling type characters, so these matches go really, really quick. I think it's probably a pretty even matchup for both characters. They're really just looking to get their quick, easy confirms. But Jab Jab Power Dunk is such a strong sort of move in Terry's toolkit. It's just going to be something to sort of just close out stocks really, really quick.
Yeah, and now Strider down to the final stock here as Ongrono starts to make up some pressure here. That crack shoot building, or sending him up onto that upper platform, not going to be able to actually pressure off of that. Falcon kick just going out, just sending it, and that knee going into shield. A little bit of a strange off-ledge situation, but the spike goes through and he can't get back up.
Wow, very, very well-placed down air. Just in general, two characters that just like to scrap. This is sort of a general, very skill-based matchup. Both characters are very similar. Both want to go in as much as possible.
Yeah, I think, you know, it's kind of interesting to see how they're different, right? Because you look at Terry and you look at Captain Falcon, and they're very much similar archetypes of characters, but Terry he does have that, like, fighting game lineage and that built into his kit. He's got very different options than Captain Falcon.
Yeah.
But they have very similar game plans. You know, they very much want to get in your face, combo you, and just hit you with moves that hit way harder than they have any right to.
Yeah, in general, Shotos are very much weirdly sort of trap type characters where they want to keep you in a position. Well, Captain Falcon's more of just a rush down, kind of a weirdly a grappler. Down throw into neutral air is really, really strong on Captain Falcon. Using side B sort of hit stun as well. So Captain Falcon's more really wants to go in and just force their way into your defenses, while sort of the Shotos want to just keep you in a position where they can abuse you.
All right, we're going to see Cloud coming back in, the same one from before, Board returning to represent the New England Tech Tigers. We'll see if he's able to take the fight against Ongrono here, who just knocked out his teammate. Still has a little bit of stocks. I believe Ongrono still had 2 stocks at the end of that game, so a slight disadvantage going in, but definitely not one that, or definitely one that, you know, you can be made up if they find some really, really crazy play. Which when you have an FGC character, I mean, they can just find these crazy plays that kill so early.
Yeah, in general, it's FGZ characters have just so much burst.
Yes.
It's just it's crazy to see. I'm not exactly sure on the Cloud Terry matchup who actually wins. I'd expect it to be Terry, but I'm not exactly certain. I think that Cloud's game plan is really to just get those nice quick confirms and abuse sort of an FGZ character's just weak disadvantage state and really just push his advantage. While it's sort of the same thing for FGC characters, really just want to push their advantage. I think that Terry definitely has a better recovery, so if we see them go deep, they could probably abuse Cloud's up B really heavily, but I'm not sure who wins neutral.
Yeah, I think neutral is very much going to be a skill matchup, you know?
Yeah.
Terry's going to be trying to just rush down Cloud, and Cloud, who, I mean, normally he was trying to just pressure you with his mid-range normals, right? He's going to be trying to play a little bit more of a zoning game going on. You know, normally a mid-range space control kind of character is now going to kind of have to play very much reactively, kind of just, you know, we're going to see a lot of probably jump back nairs, jump back fairs, to just try and control a lot of space here. Terry is really just going to be trying to send as quickly as possible.
But I think that's going to be a very hard game plan for Cloud, especially on how small this stage is. In general, well, he is getting these couple quick confirms, so really unsure how it goes.
Ongrono also picking up some damage on a small combo there, but only half of what Board has built up so far. And now it's worried about the ledge, the crack shoot getting read and punished. And now he's getting zoned out here. The crack shoot's not being able to get him back in, but the double jump in to that up B recovery. Going to be able to save his life there just barely.
So right now we're seeing very good options coming out from the Cloud, sort of just zoning Terry, as you were saying before. Terry sort of just going in, trying to get those quick, easy damage combos, but getting zoned. A very good forward tilt. It's a really hard recovery path, especially with those neutral Bs for Terry.
We're picking up some damage there, maybe trying to punish that, but dropping the guard in the middle of the Omni Slash, just absorbing those hits. And now Board does have limit. He definitely can work around this a little bit here, but I'd like to see Ongrono be a little bit higher up. It's actually going to get canceled out of the Omni Slash, and now has to land into Ongrono, who is not going to be able to connect that up B. Nice spot dodge there, but going to get punished. Unfortunately, Ongrono reading that one out. Now going through, not going to hit.
One thing that I think is also to Cloud's advantage is that Terry getting that go meter is going to be very short-lived. Cloud has a lot of very good kill moves, so I don't see Terry surviving very long past 100.
Actually, we'll be able to get that kill there. Nicely done off of the up B. Ongrono here is about halfway through his last stock, though. He needs to quickly start to build up some damage, and that's exactly what he's doing. Already 86%, and he just came back.
Wow, that was a very, very good combo. It was insane. Just getting those nice whiff punishes. As we mentioned, FCC characters have a lot of burst, but they have really difficult recovery paths, and in general just don't have a lot of range. So Cloud can sort of abuse those.
Try to push up now. Ongrono eating some damage there on the ledge. That Omni Slash going to get fully blocked. Not going to be able to punish with that, but a nice back air. Builds a ton of space. Trying to power even the air. Gets footstooled, and he's going to die off that.
Oh, that's so unfortunate.
You hate to see that. You hate to see that. Absolutely. What an end to that match. What an anticlimactic end to that match. But hey, footstools are hard enough to hit as is. You know, that was pretty mechanically tight to actually get that footstool there. Yeah,
it's, you know, footstools are difficult, but they're definitely very good underutilized options, especially in situations like that. Cloud in general is just playing his type of game, as you mentioned, sort of just looking for those zoning sort of mid-range tilt moves. In general, getting those nice, quick, easy confirms onto Terry, but Terry just using those punishes, as we saw with that crazy combo that came out, that was just insane.
Yeah, I mean, we saw some crazy stuff there from Terry, right? We saw some really, really nice combos, but unfortunately it just was not enough to make up the amount of space that Cloud could control, right? He was able to just, especially with the projectiles, which normally from Cloud you don't see that much. You really don't. They're very much underutilized there. Even on the ledge, you know, Cloud kind of prefers to go down in himself and try and fight you air to air, but against Terry, I understand not wanting to do that. You know, Terry can just spike you. Right, so you definitely have to be very scared of that. So using those to zone out Terry, who really forces him to make bad decisions in terms of how he has to recover. Like we saw, you know, there was a time where he tried to crack shoot over the projectile and then just got hit and died. And that was a tough situation for Terry there that you're going to have to really, really be aware of if you play into characters like that.
Yeah, Terry also has a very horizontal recovery, and I think that those projectiles from Cloud can abuse that very easily, as we saw on the first two stocks. It's very hard for Terry to sort of do like anything in the matchup. Getting in is really difficult if Cloud can just sort of sit back and zone. But Terry does have mix-ups for his recovery option. They're just all very linear, so it was very difficult for them to get back.
Yeah, then we saw that be pretty much the main downfall there. And you know, Board staying in there is able to kind of reclaim a little bit of momentum for his team. Staying in, going to be trying to take the fight against our next player coming up. We don't know who they are yet, but I'm excited to see. I mean, kind of with Cloud, we saw, we didn't get to see Cloud do too much last time he was up here on stage. We didn't get to see Board do too much into the player that he played against, because he just was getting, he had no room to actually play his game. Yeah, Swanky there with the min was just obliterating him. And now that he's actually got the room to play for his own space and take control of the stage, we see him performing a lot better here. So I'm interested to see if we still have Swanky in the roster, if we'll bring him out again, because that min, I mean, you could just pop it out again and be like, okay, just solo their team now.
Yep.
But we'll have to see if they've adapted to it, if they've changed up their game plan, and if they're able to counterpick it a little bit better with the hero or with the characters that they still have in their roster.
Yeah, Min's always a very good pocket in general to have. You know, seeing a player be able to sort of go through their entire roster and just sweep. You know, you can have that in the back pocket at really any time to just take out and say like, hey, we still got this, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so it's, you know, it's very difficult to sort of, for New England Tech Tigers to do a lot. It's definitely an uphill battle, but Cloud did show up really good in this match, so we might be able to see them take a couple more stocks in this next game, which I think would be very, very vital for their game plan.
Yeah, Cloud was really consistently dangerous in that match, and I think that might be matchup dependent. You know, I think
Yeah.
Cloud, we definitely just got to see why he was good against FGC characters. I want to see how this Cloud does specifically against other characters, because we've really only seen him against Min Min. We've seen him against Terry, and those are the opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of character choice, right? He's able to beat the hard rushdown characters, loses hard to the zoning characters. I want to see how he does somewhere in the middle, or maybe, you know, if we pull out another FGC character, you know, Kazuya could come out. Kazuya could come out at any point, and that's also just like another hidden character at the end of the roster. Like the Swanky can also just, instead of playing, play Kazuya. And those are, once again, opposite ends of the spectrum here. We are going to see Lucas come out for Southern New Hampshire.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not sure about this matchup in general. I don't know too much about Lucas. I know they have a lot of tech, a lot of sort of hidden stuff. But Lucas is a pretty good zoner, but they also have very good rushdown options. So I'm really excited to see sort of what they do into Cloud.
Already building up a lot of damage early on. Lucas definitely hurts if he's able to get what he's trying to get off, but trying to just establish some presence on stage right now, and Board will be able to reclaim center stage. Moving forward here, the Omnislash going to hit, also builds up Limit. Scary position to be in. Fully Limit charge, or the fully charged Omnislash is going to be able to go out there. Now, once again, just continuing to get these big hits and going to trade there very much favorably for Board. Be playing around this ledge. Now just charging up, trying to control space here, just launching this Lucas around.
Right now, we're just seeing sort of Cloud zoning really as he wants to do. Cloud definitely has more rushdown options into this matchup, but Lucas does have very good early combos, just not a lot of good kill options, which is really what you have to look out for.
Good back throw into PK Thunder, which isn't going to hit. He's going to get punished for that. He dies.
That's a lot of end lag on PK Thunder. Really, you just want to sort of hit it against something to cancel it, but it's really hard, especially when you're trying to use it off ledge like that. Cloud in general, just getting these very, very vital sort of hits onto Lucas.
Seeing the shield drop again as Lord is struggling to just get control on stage as Board approaches. Going to hit the Omni Slash again, spending that limit and finding great value out of it.
One thing that we really have to look out for Lucas, though, is really looking out for those neutral Bs. Neutral B is a very good option at ledge because it just covers so much and it can hit under it. Very, very powerful move, but Cloud also just has very quick, easy confirms really on Lucas. Lucas is a very light character, so Lucas is already in like double kill % right now.
Yeah, Board is just inches away from dying here, and surprisingly not a punish coming out there, but will eat another hit as Board now on the ledge. PK Thunder coming up, not going to hit the 2-frame, but we'll just be able to send him out of here. Once again, NordVPN on his final stock is finally going to be able to get this throw that will kill this Cloud.
Yeah, right now, in general, it's just even. I think that Lucas, if they can get those quick couple confirms, can close it out. But as mentioned before, they are very light. So trades for Cloud are better in general, even if they are even %, because Lucas is just so light.
And already at 39%. A scary spot to be in, but a nice berry there. Going to build up some good damage. But he's stuck on this platform here. Has to try and land, and will be able to. Another Nair coming out. Just such a good versatile tool. Gonna slap him with the bat and the freeze. Securing so much space here, and almost actually hit him out of his up B, but going to stay alive. Going to dodge that one just narrowly.
Did he taunt just there?
It looked like it.
It looked like they might have just taunted, sort of just abusing.
Oh!
Wow, very good down smash. Cloud doesn't really have a lot of easy ways to get off onto ledge, especially with a move like Lucas's down smash that can just hit under ledge so consistently.
Yeah, I think that's a tough situation for Cloud to be in. I mean, Lucas is one of those characters that, again, is one of the, like, if you don't know exactly what their toolset does, they have a weird toolset. And that can be something that just it catches you out in the matchup and really, really messes you up. And I think for that kind of matchup there, Lucas did a great job when he actually got the chance to use his specials like PK Freeze when it actually connected, and he didn't get punished on the end lag for it. Got great value, and even though we saw like for Cloud as well, who was consistently hitting his limit breaks, right? Every single time he got them, he was finding a huge connect on the Omni Slash. Still wasn't able to find a ton of value off it because he just never got limit when Lucas was a high percentage.
Yeah, really, Limit's kind of difficult to use with Cloud because it can kind of just randomly show up if you're not really managing it and looking at the resource. But Cloud really just sort of hitting around Lucas like a soccer ball. But Lucas also just has such good early game combos. Like, it basically took Cloud to 50% whenever Cloud just spawned. Like, getting that Nair into like down tilt, down throw is just so powerful. It's really difficult for Cloud to do a lot early, but Lucas has kind of a hard time killing,
Yeah.
which is the main problem.
We saw Board hit some pretty high percentages in there. And actually coming up next will be Smooth once again from the New England Tech Tigers representing Isabel.
Honestly, I'm kind of excited to see this matchup.
Me too.
I'm not really sure if PK Magnet does much into here, but I know Isabel can definitely pocket a lot of Lucas's abilities. But I think Lucas in general is just a better zoner. Lucas also has a lot of rushdown moves, as we saw onto the Cloud, where Lucas can kind of just nair, fair, down tilt, and down throw, which is what we saw come out. It's going to be hard for Isabel to really just sort of pressure onto Lucas's shield, but it's going to be hard for Lucas to approach as well.
Yeah, I think that is definitely going to be a big thing. But for Isabella, the biggest issue in this matchup, I think, is you're not going to really see that slingshot a lot. You know,
Yeah.
the Magnet is just going to eat that up. It's going to be free healing for Lucas. I think we're going to see that a very different change of pace here, where Isabel has to play very much more active. Can't just really zone out with the projectiles. Can't play at a range. Going to have to play a little bit more of a mid-range style play and just try and use their specials to supplement their aerials and their tilts to actually be able to break through Lucas's pressure, which is going to be pretty tough.
One important thing that I'd like to mention, which is a little bit weird, it's not really with a lot of characters, but I think a very big deciding factor in this is Lucas's height, weirdly enough. Isabel doesn't have a lot of abilities that hit close to the ground. They have their down air, but their slingshot, it's just gonna go over Lucas's head all the time. Like, Lucas can just sort of crouch in neutral as an option, and just sort of having an extra option in neutral play is just such an advantage to Lucas. It's gonna be difficult for Isabel to really get those combo starters off.
I mean, you think about Isabel, right? Her aerials are fantastic. That's one of the strongest parts of her kit. And she is going to have to, I mean, a lot of times she'll run up to you, short hop, and throw out one of her aerials. Or, short hop backwards and shoot out the slingshot. She's going to have to short hop against Lucas. And like you said, he just could crouch or just be short. And
Yeah.
you're going to have to be very precise about when you actually hit that.
If he even just like falls onto the ground, his hitbox will just squish to
Yeah.
really small. So Isabel is not going to probably have a hard time whiff punishing, which is sort of weird that heights matter this much.
Yeah, especially when they are the same height. It's just because
Yeah.
Isabel relies so much on her air game.
Yep.
And Lucas does not necessarily have to rely on that here, and he only has one stock left. Definitely a big uphill battle to come out here. I mean, Smooth was definitely a lot more consistent, a lot more dangerous than we expected to see in the last time we got to see him here. But we'll see if he's actually able to find anything here against NordVPN, who seems to just be cleaning up right now.
It's going to be, very difficult sort of battle for Isabel. Lucas just has very good approaching close options and can just sort of keep Isabel just in disadvantage for so long. Isabel does have a really good recovery, so it's very good. Hitbox extension off the balloon. I didn't even think of that. Very well played by Lucas.
Yeah, really just messing up the timings of these attacks makes it so hard to predict. And FPK Fire has just been doing so much for controlling. We saw that once again, except he actually got punished this time. That get-up roll is definitely a lot more dangerous. Going down, is he going to be able to get right back up? It's going to be tough. He gets back up and not going to stage spike.
Not going to stage
That's
spike.
surprising.
Very surprising, honestly. But as we're seeing, just Lucas kind of just runs over it. Hitting behind, Lucas kind of just runs over Isabel really quickly. Isabel doesn't have a lot of options in general to get out of disadvantage. And even when she's in advantage, she doesn't do a lot of damage in general. She's had to win probably twice the amount of neutral interactions that Lucas has right now.
Yeah, it's definitely an uphill battle for Smooth. Despite the stock difference, NordVPN is still hanging on. Smooth has to be very careful about how he plays this because he's in danger of losing that second stock, and that is going to be just a huge upset coming out here for Southern New Hampshire if they're able to find even more value out of this fight. And at the moment, Smooth stuck up on that platform. Going to get punished on the recovery. Maybe just a little bit too overzealous with the usage of that. It's going to lead Smooth to holding on to that second stock.
Yeah, in general, very good play from the Lucas, sort of just playing the exact game plan that they wanted to. But in general, it's a very hard uphill battle, especially when your opponent has 2 more stocks than you.
Yeah, it's very, very rough, and we'll see that. I mean, that's a very consistent thing in crew battles, right? Is you kind of have to learn how to play at a disadvantage, and on the flip side, also learn how to play starting off on an advantage. You know, Smash is very much a game where you don't typically start out with more stocks than your opponent.
Yeah.
So when you do, you kind of have to know, like, okay, do I want to play safely here and not take any risks so I can hold on to this stock lead for as long as possible and just, you know, play consistently? If I play consistently enough, will I be able to just beat them out that way? Or do I take risks knowing I have this extra stock and knowing I basically have a life that I can throw away that doesn't matter? Because, you know, especially playing, you know, some characters who have their moves where they can just suicide take you with them, suddenly they become a lot scarier. We haven't seen that too much here, surprisingly, considering we have a Bowser.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see kind of how players adapt to that. It's a very different dynamic you have in crew battles that you don't normally have.
So it looks like we just heard that we might be getting a rematch, Isabelle versus Ryu. This is sort of what we were seeing before. Sort of on the flip side, though, I think Ryu had down a stock. Well, now Isabelle's down a stock. But yeah, we'll see sort of a rematch come out. Hopefully there won't be as many misinputs. But I think in general, Ryu has a decent matchup into Isabelle if they just sort of, you know, wait for Isabelle to approach. Isabelle doesn't have a lot of damage or really options to do anything on Ryu's shield.
No, absolutely.
And if they can sort of pick a small stage, because I think SNHU has counterpick, it's going to be a lot harder for Isabelle to play.
I think the biggest thing here is going to be is Isabelle really able to dictate the tempo of this match? Because Ryu, very much like you said, is going to be playing around his shield, going to have to, and Isabelle does not have great options into the shield, right? Is she going to just kind of sit back and try and zone out this Ryu and force him to make a move, or are we going to see this Isabelle really just try and put the pressure on heavily?
Yeah, one thing that Ryu sort of needs to look out for, though, is really Isabelle just taking his Shakunetsus, because Isabelle with those can probably pull off more combos than she could have normally. So Ryu doesn't have a lot of good zoning options, but if he can just sort of play a whiff punish type of game, it's going to be really, really hard for Isabelle to do a lot. And as mentioned before, Ryu also has good rushdown options as well, sort of with his forward tilt, down tilts, and up tilts. So it's going to be an uphill battle for Isabelle, especially being a stock down. But if Isabelle can sort of, as you mentioned, dictate the tempo of the match, sort of keep her advantage and edge guard Ryu, who doesn't necessarily have the best recovery, they can probably get out a couple stocks.
I think a big thing in this fight is going to be who gets the first hit. It's going to be who's able to just claim that center stage and hold it for as long as possible, because if it's Ryu, that's pretty tough for Isabelle. Definitely not the situation where you have to push into Ryu, because he is loaded with options if you try and push into him.
Yeah.
Conversely, if Isabelle takes center stage, Ryu is going to have a very hard time getting back.
In general, a good analogy is Ryu's sort of like a wall, really. Isabelle can't really get on the shield, can't really do anything. Ryu, in general, is just sort of a rock, can sort of stay in one place and not really move, while Isabelle's more sort of just flying around in the air, trying to just hit it as hard as possible and sort of get the wall to move. And that's really what we're going to be looking at this game.
Yeah, absolutely. And then also, I mean, we haven't even talked about it last time a little bit here, but this is a tough matchup for Isabelle just in terms of kill power. You know, Ryu is going to be able to kill Isabelle very, very early if, you know, in the right situations. Like, oh, you're on the top platform? That's you're dead at 40. Sorry. It's going to be very much a volatile matchup for Isabelle, where she does not have very much room to make mistakes. And for a zoning character, that's the last thing you want. You do not want to be limited on the... Okay, never mind. That's not Ryu.
I thought...
That's not Ryu.
I thought we heard that Ryu is coming out from production.
Maybe a last-minute switch.
I guess we got the Little Mac to come out. I'm excited now. We saw Little Mac put in a lot of work last game, so hopefully they can just take those couple stocks. I'm not really sure if the game plan really changes from Little Mac, though. I think they're just rush down, sort of get in on Isabelle, but it's going to be pretty hard. Hopefully we'll see Little Mac do a lot of work in this. It's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, if he gets sent off stage, he's dead, right? I mean, that is the max. That is the #1 rule of Little Mac. But I think especially in this matchup against Isabelle, it's going to be tough. But this KO punch will literally kill whenever against Isabelle. Like it is going to be so lethal, and he's really just going to be farming for it. But throws it out, whiffs it. And now suddenly that's a lot of kill power gone. He's actually able to get back up on stage. Going to hit that up B in as well on Smooth, who now is worried about being on top stage.
Yeah, this is going to be very cool. The up smash coming out. killed at 60. That was crazy. It's honestly going to be hard for Isabel to do a lot, but if they can get Little Mac off stage, it's sort of over. So it's honestly very exciting.
Yeah, I mean, we thought Ryu was a volatile matchup for Isabel. This is even more so. If Isabel finds the advantage here, it is going to be very hard for Mac to get back, and Ront will lose a stock right there. But if Mac finds the advantage, Smooth is going to have a ton of pressure on him. That's really hard to deal with, and almost. I mean, for even such a low percentage, that's a scary spot to be in.
Yeah, it's really scary. Isabel could probably get up smash top platform right now and just die. Very, very light character in general. Little Mac has a lot of those hard-hitting options, and especially with those hit extensions off of a lot of Isabel's moves, it's going to be hard for Isabel to approach.
Oh, actually connected that. That was insane that hit, and now he's going in. A good hit onto shield, but is going to get grabbed out of the recovery. Dropping back down, has KO punch again. Going to whiff it. A nice dodge coming out from Smoothie. Now, Ront barely just getting back to the ledge. 82% scary. Again, the fishing pole comes out, trying to just send him out, and he's going to get gimped again. Ront gonna fall. Only one stock left, and for Smooth, I mean, you gotta be feeling pretty good right now.
Yeah, honestly, if they can just get these couple of hits to get Lil Mac off stage, they could give him really, really, really early. So, just barely got back.
Scary.
So terrifying when Lil Mac gets off stage because his recovery is just not very good.
Starting to try and just close the distance now, but Smoothie doing a great job. A good counter that goes through. Just claiming that space for himself. Going for the down smash. Not going to connect. Not going to get punished, though. Forward smash into this. It's just going to get the bap 2-hit sensor away. And Ront will be able to take this game. Fortunately, came down to the final stock there.
Yeah.
A little bit scary, but that's just the Mac lifestyle, you know. It goes right down to the wire every time, even when it probably shouldn't.
Yeah, honestly, with Mac coming out, it's just so... Mac is not considered a good character as well, but Isabel also isn't a good character.
Yeah.
So sort of seeing these two low-tier matchups, you really have no clue what's going to happen because these characters are never seen at all.
Yeah, it is an interesting matchup that you never see. And that's one of my favorite things about crew battles. You know, if you're already ahead, why not try something?
Yeah.
There's no reason not to. I mean, sure, you might give up a little bit of your lead, but SNHU, they already have taken the first set. Right, and it's a best of 3. They've still got so much room to go. It's not a big deal if they go down. And we're seeing the title bout come out here from New England Tech Tigers. It is Mac v Mac. Is the Mac attack coming out here for potentially the last stand of the New England Tech Tigers? But Rod only has one stock left.
Short Kings rise up, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. But the real question is, right, if Rot goes down, if he takes the fall, you know, if he taps out, okay, will the next player from SNHU also play Mac?
That would be very, very fun.
Because we're kind of locked in now. This is an honor thing more than anything.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very fun to sort of see. I don't really have a lot of good Mac knowledge in general, but Mac v Mac, it's really just going to be skill. Like, really not much else to say. You know, dittos are just who's the better player. Yeah,
and I mean, this is probably Little Mac's only 50-50 matchup. Yeah. You know, this is probably his best matchup is Mac versus Mac. It's a tough situation for him, to be sure. You know, definitely was not made with a lot of love in his kit.
Yeah.
You know, very, very much a character that was born to suffer. But in this one particular instance, this is honest. Good honest footsies. This is good honest Smash Brothers. This is what we love to see.
In general, an uphill battle is Lil Mac's lifestyle, you know, being that short king, sort of trying to punch up his way to victory, you know. Sort of all what Punch-Out's about. It's, you know, going to be very difficult for SNHU.
Does anyone hit the KO punch?
Yes.
Yes?
I'm betting yes.
1.
Yes, I'm
Just
betting
1.
2, maybe.
Okay.
I like betting high.
Okay. I want to see I want to see at least 1. I want to see at least 1. I would love to see 2. I think every time I see one, I'm going to scream. If it connects. Because they are so hard to hit. It's so predictable when they actually come out.
So right now we're just seeing sort of Max just playing on each other's shield, you know, really just getting those quick, easy confirms that Mac has.
This is boxing.
Yeah.
This is good, honest boxing, and we'd love to see it. Raw finding some a little bit of trouble here as he flies back. Having a little bit of trouble figuring out who's who, but he's barely going to not be able to get back up, and it just ends like that. That is so sad.
But if we get another Mac,
yeah, that's the big question, okay?
3 stocks to 3 stocks for last game. This is their last player from New England Tech Tigers, right?
Yeah.
This is the last player from SNHU.
We're down to the final 3 stocks on both sides.
A Stock of Champions Mac game. This I really, really want to see another Mac come out.
I think the big question is the other player going to stay on Mac?
Yeah.
From the Tigers.
Aren't they locked in?
Are they? I don't know. If they are locked in, then suddenly things have become very, very rough.
Yeah. It's gonna be very, very difficult, really. If Mac's locked in and SNHU decides to play Min,
yeah,
you know,
that's rough.
That's rough.
That's rough. That's kind of
it's over.
Yeah, it's gonna be rough, and it really depends on what we see. It's Min or Kazi. Yeah, Swanky just sat down. I mean, hey, it could be someone else. You know, that's just what we know him for. That's what we know him for.
He could play Mac.
He could play Mac. He could play Mac. All right, and so I'm gonna say, you know, he's probably playing Mac. I'm gonna manifest this into existence.
Manifesting it into existence.
I got it on my dream board at home. It was the Mac versus Mac matchup, and I don't feel like that was nearly what I was looking for.
Yeah, no, that was sort of disappointing in general. Just hard when you're down to stock, you know, or down 2 stocks actually. But I really want to see 2. I don't want to see Mac Ditto so bad.
We'll see. This is, I mean. If this Mac is locked in, this is the easiest layup of Swanky's life at the moment.
Yeah.
It is like you sit down, you pick Min, you win.
Also, have we seen a game where it hasn't been 2-0 yet? Have we seen 1-2s yet at all?
No.
So, you know, in general, SNHU does have another game, so maybe we'll see the Mac come out, hopefully.
Hey, maybe.
Yeah.
But, I mean, this is, I mean, we were talking about how this is an honor thing, right?
Yeah.
Swanky could pull out Kazuya or Min, and I think both of them wipe at them.
Min definitely wipes harder, but yeah.
I think it's going to be very, very tough if this is not a Mac coming out from Swanky.
Yeah, especially if they're locked in, which I'm not honestly sure if they're locked into Mac or not. But yeah, I really
production. If you guys know, please clarify. I'm not sure if Mac is locked in yet. We've never had someone who want to switch characters.
Yeah, no.
So I don't know. He is locked in. He is.
So I really hope to see another Mac come out. I really hope it's not a stomp by Min. But if it is, you know, you're just playing the game.
If it is what it is.
It is a tournament.
It is what it is.
Yep.
And that's just what you got to accept when you pick Mac. Unfortunately.
Yeah. It was a very funny move, but not necessarily the smartest to pick Mac.
Well, we'll see. Maybe it was smart. Maybe
they are Mac main.
Maybe
you know?
Maybe they're Mac main. We're playing Kazuya.
Hey, it's better than Min. It's a slightly better matchup. It's tiny.
I don't even know if that's true.
Tiny.
I don't know if that's true.
Maybe.
I feel like Min, you know, Mac gets on Min, and Min actually might struggle a little bit, right?
It's just so hard. You know, they're both like 90% win matchups. Mac just doesn't win into these, but
maybe 2 of his hardest matchups, most likely.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be very interesting to see how this one plays out. I mean, Kazuya is definitely going to be able to just hit these huge combos on Mac and really build up a lot of damage. But Swanky so far, there we go. Going to hit the grab. Go demon mode for a second. Already 74%.
Yeah, Kazuya just hits so hard. You know, Mac can get a couple smash attacks off, but Kazuya's normals just do so much damage. Coming out with the KO punch, though, are we going to actually... just goes out there. It's just not really much you can do in that situation. It's very sad to see. You know, I'm hoping Mac can get another KO punch, you know, maybe cheese out an early kill.
I mean, Swanky's already at 97%. He might not even need the cheese, but these grabs are doing so much and opening up a lot of space here. A good hit, but Swanky obviously not going to have too much trouble recovering here. That 2-frame not going to hit. He's going to roll back up and gets punished on the roll.
Does get the forward tilt. Okay, we got hope. We got hope.
This is, I mean, this is like a punch-out final boss.
Yeah, no,
like
seriously.
if you told me that Kazuya was the final boss of a punch-out game, I'd be like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. But we see the KO punch. He is out. All right, he's up. He's up in stocks right now.
All right, 106%. But
Okay.
for Swanky, I mean, he didn't even have a chance to use Rage Art yet, and that's a little bit of a bad thing at the end of the
he
stock
doesn't
right
die.
there. The laser comes out.
He still doesn't die.
Is he gonna be able to get back?
I don't think so. No.
Absolutely not. Now 1-1, but 64% already on Swanky.
Yeah, honestly, he does have probably another KO punch in him, but hopefully
Drop the combo.
This is so stressful right now. In general, just Lil Mac getting at 103%. This is kill percent with a couple good plays.
That almost killed. That almost killed.
Doesn't get the down smash. Oh.
Okay. All right. That was the Mac takes the belt here for this set. But there's another one coming up after this. This is the first one we've had go to game number 3. So I'm excited to see how this goes. I mean, I think there's a little bit of silliness in that set.
Yeah, that
maybe some players are regretting right now.
Yep.
But, I mean, if you're the Tech Tigers, you are not regretting that at all. That went exactly the way you wanted. Mac took it all the way. I'm doubtful we'll see him again tonight, though.
Yeah, no, I don't think we're seeing Mac again. But, you know, when Mac comes out, Mac comes out, you know?
Yeah, you know, it's like the full moon comes out. You don't have a choice. It's just like you're being slowly controlled over towards picking Mac on the character select. Like your sleeper cell codes are going off in your ears, and you're like, I must pick Little Mac.
Yeah.
We'll see if next set is nearly as goofy as this one in just a little bit. We're going to throw it over to a short break. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Hello and welcome back as we're going to go back to our first ever Game 3
Yeah.
for Smash Bros. Crew Battles here. We had a little bit of a Mac attack
Yeah.
last round. We had more than a few little Macs, more than you would ever probably see in your lifetime.
Yeah, I honestly, the locals I've been to, never seen Little Mac
Oh,
until
no,
here.
never.
Never at all. I just coming down off that adrenaline rush of that last game, like, I doubt Little Mac's going to be pulled out again. Like,
Yeah. So you know, we'll see. We'll have to see because, you know, I'd love to say I doubt Little Mac will come out again, but sillier things have been known to happen. We're going to see Min Min opening up against Isabelle here. This was the final, or not the final matchup, but close to the end of our very first set. So kind of running it back a little bit here.
and in general, Min Min's actually has even stocks now, so I think this is going to be a very, very good matchup for Min Min. Really being able to do whatever they want. This was a player that sort of ran through New England Tech Tigers' team, so really we're probably just going to see this exact same thing again.
Yeah, and now seeing, I mean, Smooth just building up a ton of damage here on Swanky when you actually get the chance to build up these combos. But Swanky just trying to establish presence on center stage right here, trying to play around this ledge, trying to hit these big 2 frames and going to be able to just continue to just run at Smooth and just throw out these giant tilt attacks and normals and specials. And they're all just going to take up so much space around the ledge right here.
In general, really what Isabelle is looking for is just hit Min Min sort of on those whiff punishes, which is really how they got to the percent that they're at now. But Min Min's zoning is just so insane that it's really hard for Isabelle to do much. Really, we're just looking to see Min Min get those couple of nairs and a couple of just quick hits to sort of kill Isabelle as quickly as possible.
Good grab there is going to potentially kill, but just barely going to stay alive as Smooth recovers back onto the ledge, but a big back throw here, finally going to put the dog down.
Yeah, right now it's sort of a hard matchup for Isabelle in general. As we can see, you can really destroy Lloyds at any percent, and Min Min can just rack up so much damage so quickly. It's very, very difficult. A lot of Isabelle's combos, really how they got to that percent, are very random because of her down air. So it's going to be hard to sort of replicate that combo that we saw last stock.
Oh, that's
Back
a
throw.
big throw just coming out of nowhere. Swanky getting set back to 0%. 2 stocks left on both sides here as they play around the ledge. Smooth taking a bit of damage here as Swanky just tries to establish some presence here into this new stock and trying to get these laser plays to come out here. But I think Smooth is able to just recover so far under the stage that it's gonna be very hard to hit. And that killed.
Yeah, Nairs with the big ball is just really, really hard to sort of. It's just so light. It's really hard for them to do much, especially with how fast Min Min's Nairs are. Oh, parry coming out. Last game, we saw some vital parries by Min Min, you know, getting that parry down smash in that sort of last game. Was it? I think it was against the Isabelle, right?
Yeah, Swanky was really just trying to like clip farm for some big parries, and he found a lot of really nice ones that helped him a good bit here. That 2 frame not going to connect, but will be able to get the grab throw right back over to the ledge, and very good gimp coming out, but as always against Isabelle, these gimps are not going to do too much.
One thing that we just saw, which is a bit of Isabelle's flaw, is that her get-up attack will actually stage spike Crofty. Oh! That killed really early.
Yeah, that was not a big hit. That was a fairly normal hit that killed, and very surprising, but hey, I mean, SNHU, they said, after that last set, I'd bring out the Min Min too.
Yeah, no, I would definitely bring out the Min Min.
I'd get this over with. You know, we've had enough silly stuff with the Mac, but just bring out the Min Min. Just clean up a little bit like we did in the first set. I like this. I like how they're opening up with this because SNHU, I mean, they still have a strong roster even behind Swanky.
Yeah, definitely. Especially with their Terry player who supposedly sweeped an entire team. So
yeah, first week we were here, sweep the whole team.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, didn't get to see that too much last set, but you know, I really hope we do get to see the Terry and it put into some more favorable matchups in this set.
Yeah. You know, Isabelle's just a really hard character. One of their better players on the team, definitely playing from sort of a deficit. But it's really, really hard to do anything with the character, and Min Min can kind of just sweep a lot of their roster, you know. They'd have a favorable matchup into Cloud, they have a favorable matchup into Isabelle, they have a favorable matchup into Little Mac, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, into most of New England Tech Tigers team.
Yeah, it is. I think especially we have got such a great kind of pool of matchups to work around here, a great pool of characters, that it's going to be very hard for the Tech Tigers to actually pull out something that is going to be a bad matchup, I think. And we are going to see the Tech Tigers sending out Captain Falcon here. So Falcon into Min Min, how do we feel about that?
I think Falcon has an abusable recovery. He can definitely get gimped pretty easily. But Falcon has a very good advantage state on Min Min. Falcon is a rushdown character,
yes,
which is Min Min's exact weakness, is people that can really go fast and get around. The only problem that I see is that Falcon's more of a grappler. A lot of his stuff comes off of his side B or his down throw. So it's going to be interesting to see if Min Min can even get hit. A lot of her aerials are very safe. So I think this will be interesting. I think it's slightly favorable towards Captain Falcon, but we'll really see how the game plays out.
And the Min Min is definitely just going to be trying to control as much space as possible. Like we have seen so far, I think that maybe the Falcon, being a rushdown character, you're very much focused on just hitting that gas pedal. Just going forward, just sending it entirely. And against zoners, that can sometimes land you in some hot water.
Yeah. Falcon is from a racing game, so it does fit his playstyle, just sort of going in, trying to get that Nair one, or Nairs across stage as well. There's even like a 0 to death, which is very, very hard to actually get out of. You have to hit a very good tech, but on Min Min, it would be very, very difficult to hit. But Captain Falcon has a lot of good moves, and really just meant to show just how much damage they could really output off of one single hit.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting to see exactly how this matchup plays out. Definitely, rushdown versus zoner is always a little bit of a skill matchup. You definitely have to. As the rushdown, you got to be prepared to get frustrated. That's what all zoners are going to try and do. They're going to try and frustrate you into making mistakes. And for a rushdown character, you might have a lot of things that aren't entirely safe, and you might just throw out to be like, hey, get me in there. Like, we saw a Falcon kick last set.
Yeah.
And that is just like, you send that out there, you are begging for someone to just to F-smash you at the end of it.
Yeah, definitely. Falcon kick isn't really a good move unless, like, you use it, on a footstool or something, But really, I think this is probably the better stage for Min Min. Very, very large stage, but I think Min Min definitely will have a hard time ledge trapping because of her arms don't really go under the platform. But right now we'll sort of see how the game sort of plays out. I think it's probably fairly even, just really if the Captain Falcon can get in on the Min Min dies.
Yeah.
But that's sort of the big thing,
That is the big issue at hand right now, is whether or not Strider is going to be able to close the distance. And at the moment, he's having some tough time doing it. I think that was almost a Falcon kick again. It got grabbed out of, unfortunately. But Strider now just getting sent from ledge to ledge, going back and forth. That laser barely going through those iframes, but now in a tough situation again around this ledge. And Swank, he's pretty content just to sit at like full screen away. And another Falcon kick coming out just to close distance. Not going to be punished this time, but Strider now trying to go off the ledge. That spike not connect, going to be forced to recover, and the Falcon kick in the air is so easily punishable for Swanky.
Yeah, one thing really about this matchup is if you don't know the Min Min matchup as Falcon, it's going to be really hard to play. Min Min is a character you don't see a lot, but is fairly good character, so it's very difficult, especially when no one plays them, to really know what to do in a lot of situations.
Yeah, her zoning is very much different from a lot of other characters' zoning as well. It can be a little bit tricky to play around if you're used to playing around characters like Palutena or like, Isabel like we just saw.
Yeah.
If you're used to playing around that kind of style of zoning, it's very different. But for Strider, that seems to be catching him up a little bit here. Swanky is at a life deficit at the moment, but how long that'll last for, who can say, because Strider is just having a tough time getting back up from this ledge.
Yeah, it's going to be really difficult for Captain Falcon to do a lot to get off ledge. He doesn't have a lot of options, especially with Min Min just throwing out those very quick, easy attacks. Min Min, in general, just very strong hit. Yeah. Up B does actually kill there. Falcon's up B is really, really strong. In general, Falcon has sort of a hard time killing, except for when he hits a lot of his moves, which is really what Falcon's going to be looking for in this match.
Yeah, but for Swanky right now, all he really needs to do is hit one big hit, and Falcon could be dead, but has to actually get back up from this ledge first, and will be able to get back up before Falcon, still on center stage as the kick goes very wide, and that's going to be a kill, resetting things here. Now 0 to 44%, both on their final stock, but Southern New Hampshire still holding on to that stock lead.
Right now, you know, as we saw in sort of last stock, Falcon did really get in on Min Min and was able to close it out, but it is really hard when Falcon just gets zoned super hard. It's very difficult for the character to do a lot.
Gonna get back up here, but gonna eat an up B again, and Swanky is having a tough time touching ground right now. And Strider, very nicely done on the down air there to get back in, but another up B.
Min Min is at really high percent. Basically, any move from Falcon will kill. You know, Need takes a large start.
Oh!
Oh, doesn't actually kill.
Okay,
again?
This one's for real this
Yeah.
time, I swear. This one actually kills, and Swanky will come away with that, but he's only got one stock left, barely hanging on to life at 137% right there.
Yeah, you know, Swanky was a player that sort of swept the entire team last time. You know, being able to be clutch with those last couple stocks is very, very crucial, especially for you know, his character pool.
Yeah, I think especially. I mean, you've got Kazuya and Min Min, like opposite ends of the fighting game spectrum, right? And being able to play both those characters kind of proficiently, it gives you such big coverage over matchups here that I think he's been able to really do a lot with the matchups he's been given. You know, this is definitely a set he looks at and says, this is a Min Min set. You know, looking at who they're playing, that's really, really who's going to shine here. But he definitely has the ability just to swap around and be like, hey, next set, this school, look at their character pool. I'm going to play Kazuya here.
Yeah,
and those
exactly.
are both amazing choices.
Kazuya is really good into rushdown characters, weirdly enough. He has a lot of good invincibility moves, and a lot of rushdown characters have a lot of multi-hits. So Kazuya can kind of just go through a lot of those characters' things, because Kazuya sort of has Tough Guy on a couple of his attacks. So, you know, Kazuya just has a lot. He has a lot in his kit in general, but Min Min can cover a lot of Kazuya's bad matchups. So it's really good to see, you know, a player being able to pick up two characters that are on complete opposite sides of the spectrum that complement each other really well.
Yeah, you don't normally see a switch up like that very much, but I am hearing, surprisingly, a switch up. I have been thoroughly duped. I thought it would not come back, but the Little Mac is back in town, stepping back in the ring.
Little Mac? Oh my God. I'm eating good tonight, you know? This is going to be very, very interesting. From what we saw last time, Lil Mac sort of kind of ran through Kazuya, so I wonder if we're going to see them sort of play Min Min maybe into the matchup, which I think would be very hard for Lil Mac. Lil Mac has a very horizontal recovery.
Yeah.
And Min Min can just gip them off ledge and sort of throw them off ledge with good grabs, sort of those easy-to-hit arms. And Lil Mac doesn't have a lot of range.
But this is a Min Min with one stock.
Yeah, this is a Min Min.
Little Mac is very good at just cheesing out kills, hitting you with
Yeah.
just like, oh, suddenly you're dead. Like, there's nothing you can do about it. I just hit you with a big move off of a spot dodge, and you die because I'm a bad character and I need something.
Yeah, I need anything at all. So, you know, I think Lil Mac definitely will be able to take this last stock, but, you know, how many stocks off the Lil Mac will we see? Probably, I'm suspecting about 2, depending on which character they play. But, you know, Lil Mac is going to have a hard matchup into the next character, you know?
I mean, before this started, I heard Swanky say that he doesn't want to play into Little Mac.
Yeah, no.
So this is unfortunate for him that he's still in this far, but he's made it pretty far off of this. He's taken 2 out of the Tech Tigers there, and taking out Smooth pretty early I think is big, because Smooth was doing really good at playing into the rest of Southern New Hampshire.
Yeah, definitely. Smooth is a very good character, or a very good player at sort of knowing what to do in a lot of situations. And even though Isabel isn't the best, it's really pretty easy for them to sort of.
Might need to restart. Might need to restart there. Forgot to at the start. We'll throw it back real quick. Throw it back over to us while they get ready to actually play for real there. But I will say what we did see already at the start of that is the name of the game, right? It is just going to be Min Min is just going to throw out these huge normals, and it's going to be so hard for Little Mac to actually get in. I mean, especially with the Gimps coming out, we've seen so many from Min Min already in tonight that I think for Little Mac, it's going to be so tough with how linear his recovery is that it's just going to be like, oh, you are this far off the stage, there's a laser, and you can't do anything about it other than eat it.
Yeah, really, it's going to be extremely difficult for Little Mac to do much. Min Min has very good Gimps, has very good center control, which is everything that Lil Mac hates.
Yeah.
You know, Lil Mac actually hates kind of everything. Zoners beat him, rushdowns beat him, you know, kind of everyone beats him, but uphill battle is really the name of the game with
It's a tough life for him.
Yeah.
It's a tough life for him. He does not have very many upsides, but he is able to, you know, if you feel like you've got a good read on your opponent and you want to be kind of stylish, Little Mac is Okay, I was just about to say he's not a bad pick, but that's not true. There is a lot of better options, but there is a committed group of people to Little Mac.
We've seen Peanut, the best Lil Mac player in the world, do pretty good. He's even saying that Lil Mac's actually not the lowest tier, sort of more mid-range type of character.
There's a lot of bad characters in this game.
Yeah,
that's something you got to.
There are also a lot of good characters in this game as well. There are a lot of characters.
There is a lot of characters, and unfortunately, half of them are, like you look at that and you're like, oh, that's a joke character, right?
Yeah.
but
Kirby, Little Mac,
yeah.
Lucario, those
I would absolutely not be surprised if Little Mac was not the worst character in the game.
Yeah, no, definitely. A lot of people put like Ganondorf, that low, or Lucario, which is more my pick for the worst character in the game. But it's really hard for Lil Mac to do a lot. But we've seen Lil Mac players sort of coming out. If you can get those good reads and you have enough damage, and you get that download on your opponent, you can just blow them up. Especially with good KO punches. And even what we're seeing with Lil Mac is recovery is actually getting better over time. People learning how to shift Lil Mac's hitbox with down airs or forward airs to sort of pull them closer to the center of the stage in weird mechanical jank ways. So, Lil Mac's getting a little bit better, but he's still probably, one of, if not the worst character in the game.
Like, I mean, it's really nice that people are discovering a lot of the good things with him, but Little Mac is one of those characters where you see people play that character and you're like, man, you would be so much better on any other character.
Yeah,
right.
It's just play like anyone else.
Play like anyone else, and you would be doing it 10 times better. Because Little Mac is just one of those characters where you will just die for no reason.
Yeah,
and like the moment you enter disadvantage, you are just like, oh, I could die right now.
Yeah.
And there's nothing I could do about it. If the other person plays into me at the right time, if I'm off the side of the stage and they just say, hey, I'm going to kill you now, they probably will. There's not much I can really do about that as Little Mac. It's one of those things where I feel like, looking at Little Mac, you almost want to see just like, switch to Kazuya, switch to Terry, switch to any other, like, if you want to punch people, those are your go-to.
Even Roy.
Roy is fantastic.
Yeah,
very similar to Little Mac's game plan, too.
Yeah, Roy, in general, I feel like is the closest character to Little Mac. Roy's very weird. He has a lot of overlap with, like FGC players will try out Roy. Little Mac or sort of heavyweight players will try out Roy. Roy's kind of a catch-all for everyone that doesn't really know what their playstyle is.
It's the character for players without a home, right?
Yeah.
Like I very much am more of a traditional fighting game player than a Smash player, and I play Roy. I play Roy and the FGC characters, right?
It was like Mario in Smash 4. Roy's sort of, the catch-all for no one who
exactly,
has
right? And Mario Smash 4 very much was that. But now Roy, I feel like there was a period of time at launch where Roy was really not popular at all.
No,
right? There was a lot of the other sorties were very much kind of overshadowing Roy, but I think people have kind of come to realize that he is just really, really solid.
Roy might be one of the, top 5 characters, but really, Lil Mac isn't a top 5 character at all, and we're really going to have to see how Lil Mac can play into Min Min, which is going to be really hard. Probably I'm saying we'll definitely get the stock off the Min Min, but it's going to be hard.
I mean, Little Mac is a bad character, yes. But also, isn't it kind of thematic that he's a bad character?
No, definitely, yeah. It's the fantasy of playing the short guy.
It's a boss rush. Yeah. It's a boss rush.
Yeah, Little Mac literally is embodiment of Rocky, If you've ever watched a film, it's sort of the young, short guy, down on his luck, sort of just trying to punch up, trying to get those wins, even when everyone doesn't think he can.
Yeah.
That's the character, that's what the character's supposed to feel like. And for, them to already have taken a game with Lil Mac, like not just like a set, like an entire like game, one of the best of 3s with Lil Mac is very crazy. But Lil Mac doesn't have a lot of good matchups.
Yeah, it's very tough.
Have to keep saying it over and over and over again. The character is not good.
They need to throw like Glass Joe in this game or something. Give Mac one good matchup, like or give him the headgear. Make him a little bit more resilient.
Maybe Kirby.
I mean, you think he has a good matchup into Kirby? Kirby can kind of
as the resident Kirby main. No,
Kirby's like Jigglypuff light. Like you want to play like Jigglypuff, but you don't have the kit to do it.
Yeah,
because you have all the jumps. You're really floaty. You can play off stage, but you're not Jigglypuff.
Really, the only thing that Kirby can do is the good old press and neutral B at ledge, but it's gonna be really difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think especially Hold on. Kresnik, come out here. What happened? Hey.
Oh, I didn't expect you to make me do this.
Hey, come on.
Hello.
Give us the matchup.
Sure.
Oh, I even have the gamer sleeve on still. This is embarrassing. I just tuned into the stream for Smash Blue. They are up 11-3 against NEC. So his Rotten Lunch has lost 1 stock to the 9 he has taken against them, because that is happening right now in person. Actually, they traveled down there. Kind of threw me for a loop because I had you guys scheduled to do that, and then they said, by the way, we're not going to be here. I'm like, I have like 5 workers scheduled to do this game. So thank God Yellow was playing at the same time.
Thank you for coming out and giving us that match update in person. He said it while I was talking. I didn't hear what he said, so I figured it was just best to bring him out. But while we get ready to go into this match, I think there might be a tech issue or something holding things up a little bit. But for kind of looking at the remainder of New England Tech Tigers lineup here, I think that even though the Min only has 1 stock, it's fairly realistic they could hold on to it here in this matchup.
Yeah.
I think this matchup, like, yes, Little Mac could just pick up a stray kill off of random, like, oh, you hit a button, I spot dodge, I kill you, right?
Yep.
Even with that in mind, I think this matchup is just that bad for Little Mac.
There is a world where Min takes 0 damage.
Yeah.
That is a possibility. Not likely, but definitely a possibility that Min can just zone Lil Mac so hard that Lil Mac can't do anything.
And unlike most zoners, I mean, Min is not like the lightest character in the game.
No, not at all.
Like, she very much is not going to just get like Little Mac into Isabel is like, oh yeah, of course that guy's just going to punch that dog into the sky. Like it is a no-brainer that that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Min is very much like, okay, you actually do get in on her, but she's a lot more resilient than you think.
Yeah.
And her recovery's not bad.
Yeah, no, not bad at all. So, in general, Mac can't really do anything off ledge or really get a recovery in general. Maybe a straight up smash, But, yeah, if Min can get the first hit, take center control and sort of play around, the next stocks and vulnerability, it's just over. You know, it's going to be really hard for Lil Mac to do much, especially considering if there's a platform stage that comes out. I'm not really sure how stage picks work, but if it's a platform stage, it's going to be extremely difficult for, Mac to do anything, because you should just circle camp the entire stage, jumping for platforms, avoiding him, you know.
Now, I do want to say before we go into this match, I want a prediction, okay?
Yeah.
Before we've said how many KO punches. All right? This is yes, no.
We already saw 1.
Yes, we've seen 1 KO punch. It was Swanky ate it.
Yeah.
So, will he get KO punched in this upcoming game?
I'm going to predict no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think it's going to be really hard for Lil Mac to even get anything. Down tilt, I don't even think combos into KO punch anymore. I think it's only up tilt, but I'm not really sure. So,
yeah. All right. Well, I personally think I think he's going to eat one. I think it just has to happen.
I hope so.
I think this Mac the Mac on the other team is honestly a little bit cracked. So I'm excited to see that. But we are going to throw it over to a quick break while we figure out some stuff behind the scenes. We'll be back in just a few minutes with this game, Min versus Little Mac, the fight of the century. I think we'll be back in just a bit.
Have a good one.
Hello and welcome back, as we're now in game. A very short talk about some stuff behind the scenes, but all good. Swanky now on his final stock versus this Little Mac, who's actually kind of getting in there.
Yeah, in general, we see a different stage pick coming out. Min not really having those platforms. Oh wait, no, this was stage last. But it's going to be really difficult for Lil Mac to do a lot. He does have center control right now, which is really good. But it's going to be an uphill battle. Oh, he does. They do have even percent, which is surprising, but just now off state and dead. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the story of Mac right there. He's dead off of that. Just not much he can really do about it. Doesn't have a lot of ways to really, kind of mix up his recovery here. And that 2-frame not going to hit. Those 2 frames are getting a little bit scary now that Swanky's at 99%. He definitely does not want to eat too much more. But those up tilts going to do into the up B, and he's going to splat on the screen. Get out of here. Now, I mean, Little Mac triumphs over this fight. Was not as much of a hard matchup as we brought up here. But, I mean, when you're only going up against one stock, you can kind of just throw Little Mac at whoever you're fighting, and it'll work out all right. But SNHU still hold on to a huge stock lead at the moment.
Yeah, currently we got 2 players still left. Is this their last player or second last?
I believe Swanky was their first player.
Okay.
So we still have 3 players left on SNHU, and then we have 2 players left for New England Tech.
Okay.
It is 5-9 right now. So a big stock lead for SNHU. But we'll see if they're really able to keep that up. They do still. Mac is still in the arena. You know?
Yeah. In general, I think Lucas or Robin probably have the better matchup into Mac. You know, just being able to zone him with projectiles. But it's gonna be really scary if we see a Ryu come out. We saw Ryu not really do that well in Mac last time. Or Kazuya, sorry, Kazuya. So
Lucas.
Just heard Lucas.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably what they want to do. I think this is probably the best. Lucas in general has very good rushdown and very good zoning. Just a very good character. So it's going to be hard for Mac to do a lot. As we've reiterated 1,000 times, Mac isn't really the best at all. But Lucas's game plan is really just going to be getting them off stage as much as possible and just gimping. Lucas has a good recovery, so they can go deep with Nair and just, get Mac.
Yeah, I think that this is going to be the actual very hard matchup here. Min is one of those characters where if Min gets into the advantage state, which we didn't see very much, right? If she actually gets into a state where she can press the advantage, then Little Mac is not going to be able to do much. And we did see the one time where she was in the advantage, just Little Mac died. There's nothing you could do about it. It just unfortunately only happened once, and then Little Mac was able to find a nice up tilt, do an up B on the top of the stage, and they killed. That happens. But for Lucas, it's such a floaty character. It's going to be so hard for Mac to actually chase him down, and that's one of Mac's big things. He's so fast, he's so sticky, he'll just stay on you and just hit tilts into your block until you're forced to do something.
One thing that's definitely going to be scary is, Lucas is very light. So Mac can kind of hit Lucas like a soccer ball,
That's true.
So those up smashes, Lucas is going to be kill percent by like late 60s. It's going to be difficult, really for Lucas to play around anything sort of towards later percents. But it's going to be hard for Mac to get them to later percents.
I mean, we saw some taunts coming out from the Lucas earlier. I'm afraid if he does that again, Mac is just gonna gone. It's a little scary, but we'll see exactly how this matchup feels. I mean, I think it's no matter what going to feel good, right? It's always a downhill battle for whoever's fighting into Little Mac.
Yeah, always is. It's just as we've said 1,000 times, really, really hard for Lil Mac to do a lot. One good thing that he has is Lucas's weight. Lucas is very low weight. Lil Mac does have super armor on a lot of his smash attacks as well, which is pretty good into Lucas. So there's that. Lil Mac does have good 2-framing with his down smash, which has a pretty decent lingering hitbox. Doesn't linger for too long, but that's really what we're looking for from Mac. It's just those quick smash attacks or tilts, to rack up that damage. So,
it is going to be a very much. This is kind of attrition for Mac. He has to actually be able to land hits on Lucas, but Lucas is going to be able to play so much runaway. He's going to be able to zone him out so much with projectiles. But if Mac gets in there, he doesn't need that many hits to actually send him out.
Yeah.
And then, looking at Lucas, right, Lucas is also kind of a big combo character. You see a lot of instances where Lucas is just finding these big combos. He's got great ledge options. He's got great off-the-ledge options. I think if Mac goes off the stage at all, he's dead.
Yeah, definitely. One thing that's really hard, though, with Lucas is that unless Lucas goes off stage, unless they feel confident going off stage, it's going to be really difficult for them to kill. Lucas is a character that doesn't have a lot of kill options. PK Fire, it doesn't really set up for much. It's more of a zoning tool, and they really have to use, their aerials to kill or smash attacks, which is good because, down smash will probably clip Mac at ledge.
Yeah.
So there's that, but, center stage, it's going to really just be getting Mac off stage. But if you can't get him off stage, you're not really killing him.
Yeah.
Lucas doesn't have a lot of kill options unless you get people off stage. So
Yeah. Okay. Now, before we go into this one, I want to throw out the prediction again. KO punch. Yes
KO
or
punch.
no?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Why do you think that?
I think that because Lucas is very floaty and wants to go in.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot easier for Mac to do it. But Lucas, plays aerial game. It's going to be.
It's going to be hard for him to kind of mix that up, right? And once he starts floating at you, you can kind of react to him starting to go in.
Definitely.
He doesn't have too much mix-up in his actual approach plan here, but the Nair already starting to find some value as we start off this game.
Yeah, really, you just want to play against Mac, kind of boring. It's sad to say, but really, Lil Mac doesn't have a lot of options. So trying to fight him like he's an actual character is really the downside, Right now, we're seeing Lil Mac just do exactly what he wants to do, winning neutral, sort of reading where Lucas is going to be. So
Not going to hit on that. Takes a lot of shield damage there, but is going to be able to go in, find a little bit of a punish here. Close to that KO punch coming through. The uppie again, and it kills!
It's exactly what we said before, Lil Mac will kill Lucas really early. Lucas is kind of like a soccer ball for Mac, It's going to be really hard for Lucas to do a lot, especially at higher percents, which Mac is at. Is not a lot of kill options right at the moment, so
KO punch is gone and timed out there, unable to use it in at time, and now NordVPN, he did lose a stock here. Now, he's even though with this little Mac, and PK Thunder going out, getting some good damage, and he rolls
Very
into him to
good
try and punish it,
read.
but a great read is going to take that second stock off Mac.
yeah, and really we just want to see Lucas sort of doing similar things. Lucas is still up a stock and being able to just do nairs over and over and over again. But Mac just doesn't have any ability to do anything right now. It's very difficult when Lucas has advantage.
PK Fire going through, keeping him away from the ledge, and that two-frame not going to connect with down smash just a little bit too early. Lucas got a lot of ways to vary up his momentum here. Gets turned around, though, and can't quite punish off of that. Now 111%.
KO punch is up.
Gotta play very aware of it. Again, not going to clip, but a good
This
parry.
is scary.
Oh!
Legend vulnerability was gone, it was really what you got to do. Right now, we're just going to try to see Lucas sort of...
Oh! No way! I cannot believe that just hit. He just ran up and sent it. That's so... walks up, down tilts a few times, and then runs up and KO punches. That's so hard to read.
That's unfortunate. It's really, really difficult. KO punch is kind of that option that you can just throw out. You know, you can really do whatever you want with KO punch, and this Max seems like a problem.
I think he is.
I honestly am seeing more Mac today than I have seen in my entirety
This
playing
is
Smash.
probably more Mac we'll see all. This is the most Mac we'll see all year.
Yeah, definitely. It's.
This is not a character that many people put a lot of hours into,
No,
but he does.
no,
He has that
no.
cult following.
Yeah, people who play Mac play them religiously. They got them in Smash 4. They like sort of the fantasy of the character of just being able to, be the worst character in the game, but teach everyone, that you are better.
Yeah, it's very much a character where you establish respect.
Yeah, it's like Dan.
No one goes into the fight respecting you, right?
Yeah.
You have to earn that respect.
Yeah, and in a lot of fighting games, you sort of see kind of these joke characters, like Dan in Street Fighter, and be able to just really, people who play them are scary.
Yeah.
Because they have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
In general, it's very difficult, especially when you're into a matchup that you don't really know. And not a lot of people play Little Mac, so it's really hard when you don't know really what you're doing or how to gimp the character easily.
Yeah. I think one of the big things you see in Smash all the time is because there is so many characters in this game, it is so hard to know all of the matchups.
Yeah.
Like you look at another game like Tekken, and you're like, there are so many characters and they have so many options, and it's so hard to know all of the matchups. It takes years of experience to know all the matchups. But Smash has the characters don't have as many options as they do in something like Tekken, but there is just so many characters, and so many of them are incredibly underrepresented.
Yeah, no, entirely underrepresented. We see characters that don't even have that aren't in PG at all. No stats of them. No real tournament successes. On grand stage at all. So unlike Tekken, where Tekken you got years and years of matchup knowledge, like the original Tekken, you can still do combos from the original Tekken in the newest one. So you still have all this matchup knowledge. All the characters play very similar, and there aren't really a lot of characters added throughout the games. But in Smash, it's just the characters. There's so many, especially added in this game. There were like 20 characters added in this game, counting all the DLCs.
Yeah.
So, that matchup knowledge from previous games isn't really there. And, in general, you just might go, like a year without seeing a Mac player.
I think that's very easy, especially considering, Smash is not a game where you really want to sit down and just grind online.
No, the online for Smash.
That is
yeah.
maybe the biggest barrier to actually learning all of the matchups is just the fact that you can't sit down and really play online and have a good time.
Yeah, it's going to be really difficult to play this game, because the netcode isn't good, as we saw with the SNHU Blue stream, where it just cut out constantly. It was so sad.
Like, the fact is, if you don't have someone who plays a character that lives near you and goes to your locals, you probably don't know how to really fight that character.
No, not at all. Character representation is really hard in this game. There's so many characters, not really a lot of playtime. Most people play local with their friends. Yeah. So, they might have, a crazy, matchup chart. They have an entire flow chart represented for, ZSS, right? Let's say one of your friends plays ZSS. You have an entire flow chart of how to beat the character, but then you play against, a random villager, at a local, and you're just like,
I've never seen this character before.
Yeah.
Do people actually play this character? It's surprising every time, but we are going to see Robin coming out versus the Little Mac.
As we've seen, the Slow Mac player is really good. They get the reads, but as we mentioned before, this is a bad matchup, but he's been able to get through, a couple bad matchups, 4, or 3 right now, so it's going to be really scary for SNHU. This is their last player, right?
No, they still got two more. They've still got two more. Yeah.
Oh, 2 more. Okay.
Well, so they've got 6 stocks total right now. So this player and 1 more after this. So definitely, we're getting down to the reserves here, as New England are also down to their final 4 stocks. Just 1 here for Mac, and then they're on to their final player.
Yeah, Robin's really going to be able to zone out, Lil Mac with just all of their abilities. Robin has a lot of both side hitting moves, especially with Nair and down smash. But that fast fall coming out, very, very unfortunate for SNHU.
That was a homie stock.
Yeah.
You're up 2 stocks, you might as well throw one away.
KO Punch is out. KO Punch is out. This is going to be very, very scary.
It hits! And it kills!
And it kills at 30? Was that 30 that I saw?
Just
my God.
Barely off the top. This Mac has already made so much ground so fast.
And there's another person after the Mac, right?
Yeah. There's still 3 more stocks of someone we don't know on this final player for New England Tech. Hopefully Flask is able to hit this last hit in here, but Mac so far, he's at 108%. He's going to start hitting pretty hard with that rage, but
they do get the up smash. Very, very good play. Very good kill confirm. Lil Mac is kind of a terror right now. Lil Mac, these players are going to be seeing Lil Macs in their nightmares for, a couple weeks.
I think I will be. I'm going to be thinking about how scary he was right now. And, already he just took 2 stocks there instantly. Yeah. And that's the power of Mac, right? He doesn't have a lot of great options. He has no recovery. He has zero recovery, right? Terrible matchups. It's so easy to zone him out, but he just gets kills.
Yeah, KO Punch is such a scary option, especially when you don't really commit to playing that, boring play style, which not a lot of players do, Lil Mac can't really do anything, so if you just float around off stage, with a floaty character, Mac can't do a lot, but not a lot of players will commit to doing that because it's a very boring way to play, and it's not really sportsmanlike to do it. But, Jigglypuff, exactly what we see with Hungry Box and Melee. You can kind of just float, grab the ledge, keep grabbing the ledge over and over and over again. Mac can't do a lot. So it looks like we're seeing a Cloud come out as the last character. SNHU is a person up, but they only have 1 stock. So this might be down to, a 1v1, the last 2 players.
Yeah.
So
for Blaster, he definitely wants to just get entrenched and hold on for as long as he can, because Robin versus Cloud, he definitely can buy a lot of space versus Cloud. I think Cloud, he's got good good normals to kind of advance with, but I think Robin can sort of zone him out a little bit.
Yeah, Robin's got Leffen Sword, which is really helpful in the matchup, and they have very quick, PK Thunders, or sorry, Arc
Fire.
Yeah, Arc Fires and, Neutral Beast, to just throw out neutral. Cloud really doesn't have a lot of options against that. Cloud's Neutral Bee is, sort of a threat, very slow-moving projectile across stage. But Arc Fires, getting those couple confirms and, rushing them down with Leffen Sword is really the name of the game.
Yeah,
into this type of match.
This is going to be an interesting matchup. I think this is 100% a skill matchup here. And for Blast, when you've only got one stock left, that's scary. This is going to be a hard matchup to just sweep. It's definitely not 100% in his favor. It is very, very close to, I'd say, a 50-50. And for these two players here, the Cloud coming out into the Robin is, you feel like with a 2-stock advantage, you're going to be able to at least get something.
Yeah, you're definitely going to be able to do a lot, And Cloud definitely has a couple lingering hitboxes. Landing Fairs will be able to sort of hit those neutral bees coming out from Robin and those Arc Fires. So, but it is a small stage, which is going to be very, very good for Cloud.
Yeah, he's going to be able to close that distance very early, and there's not going to be a lot of ground for Blast to actually run away. Board we've seen, I mean, when he doesn't play into the hard zoners like Midman, he's doing a great job here, but we'll see how he does against the zoning of Robin immediately opening up with an Omni Slash.
And, the pressure onto Robin is just really insane. Robin has a very, very bad disadvantage state. They have no good out-of-shield options, really. They have no real hits that out-framed out of Cloud, so it's going to be pretty difficult for Robin to do a lot. But, Robin isn't a character that's played a lot, so it's definitely, Cloud might not have the matchup knowledge to really know how to counter. But, Robin is really high percent right now. Cloud does have one hit, and it just does cut them off ledge.
Stays alive, though.
Stays alive.
Now getting back over to the legend. Nice spot dodge is going to lead into a good hit there. Just trying to stay alive for as long as they can, but it's off the screen already. Elwin back up, and it doesn't hit. No connection, but no punish. Stay in. This is so down to the wire, and a big hit from Board.
Hits from behind. It's just so unfortunate to see, But really not much you can do, especially on a small stage versus Cloud. It's going to be really scary for Robin. As mentioned before, they don't have a lot of ways to get out of a disadvantage. They don't have fast attacks to get them out of there, and they don't really have, any out-of-shield options except for up smash, so...
Yeah, I mean, his hits are just going to take up so much at the stage. It is very, very hard to deal with, and I really like Cloud coming out there on that map. I think that was a really good choice, and for Robin, I mean, it's a little bit tough. The Cloud definitely was able to just get in there, apply a ton of pressure, and as Robin, you've got great zoning tools, but once they actually get to you, it's
do
very
anything,
hard.
Min has Nair, Nair can get you out, up smash can get you out, both very, very quick moves. Robin doesn't have a lot, and also her only good out-of-shield option is her up smash, which is conditional if they have Leffen Sword or not. So it's scary, it's a very scary situation to be in.
Yeah, I mean, the other player can just see, they're out of resources, let me push. They have no Leffen Sword, why not just push the advantage as hard as I can? Because they're going to have a good, decent control over the stage with their projectiles, with their spells, but if they don't have Sword, they can't kill me.
Yeah, Robin without Sword is, just kind of like a wet noodle.
Yeah.
Kind of just not really doing a lot. Their hits mean basically nothing at all. The only kill that they might have is their Gentleman, which uses a PK Fire Charge, or Thorin. But Thorin's so hard to get during a match, especially into like a Cloud. It's like...
It's just going to be in your face.
Yeah, there's no way to get a Thorin into that type of matchup at all.
Yeah, and especially, I mean, it almost kind of feels like an inverse Joker, where it's like you have Leffen Sword and you're a good character, and then it's gone. And you have to wait so long for it to come back.
Joker's still, like, I'd say, like, top 20, top 30.
He's just so hard.
Like, even at, like, base Joker without Arsene.
Really good.
Yeah. But with Arsene, like, top one.
Basically
the best character in the game. But Robin without Leffen Sword, it's just nothing. You know, they go from being a, like, maybe, mid-range character with Leffen Sword to, like, the worst character in the game without Leffen Sword. But, Joker's just so hard to play in comparison. Robin's very hard, neutral, getting those reads, really knowing what to do. But that's, like, superficial stuff. If the character was better, it wouldn't be that hard. But Joker, in general, their kit being able to do drag downs, being able to do fair ones into back airs, being able to do jairs, it's really hard.
Yeah, and especially for Robin. I mean, I feel like a lot of your stuff comes out at very weird angles. It can be really awkward at actually trying to land a lot of things. You know?
Arcfire comes like very weird, like not directly down, not like down
it's
into the
not
side.
quite
It's
where
like,
you want it ever.
Yeah,
it's
no.
very, very hard to actually connect. Whereas something like PK Fire on Ness or Lucas are both amazing angles.
Arcfire also goes over people sometimes, depending on their height. So it's really difficult to do a lot. As mentioned, basically Robin's tilts are non-existent. You don't tilt. You maybe up tilt once, maybe. But yeah, you don't tilt with that character at all. They also don't really have a down B. Their down B does heal them a little bit, but it's like completely negligible.
You're never going to hit Nosferatu.
Yeah, you're never going to hit it.
It's almost never going to happen. And I mean, I guess when it does, you're in a pretty good situation. But if you're able to hit it, you probably could have hit anything else.
Nosferatu also doesn't send them at an advantageous position at all, and it has such end lag that, like, I know there are a couple characters in the game where just landing Nosferatu is actually putting Robin at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
So,
it gives you a little bit of healing, I guess. But it's not a real option for Robin. So a little bit unfortunate. I mean, especially when it's like, if it was a little bit better rushdown characters, usually if they play into a decent grappler, you might just get free grabs sometimes when they run into you. That's something that's very, very common. I mean, you look at someone like Incineroar, or like you said, Captain Falcon earlier as a grappler. You play a rushdown into Captain Falcon, and like half the time you run up to him and try and hit a button into him, he might just grab you. It's very much a matchup. A big matchup thing for these characters, and for Robin, it's an option that he technically has, but
it's so
really.
Slow though, like compared to all other command grabs in the game. Also, the command grab is so positional as well. It's not as big as like Bowser's side B, where it's just like an immediate snatch. Like it takes a second for Robin's Nosferatu to come out. That it's really hard to use. You could basically just jump out of it on reaction. It's really hard. But it does seem like we are getting our Terry player to come out, our anchor, So they should be able to have a favorable matchup in the Cloud. They did. Have they played the Cloud yet?
I don't think so. I think this is the first time we've seen this particular player matchup, but like we said, on Grono, he did almost fully wipe a team on the first week we were here. We have not gotten to see a good look into Yellow since then, so hopefully we get to see him performing well here as well.
I would also say this is a good stage for Terry.
Absolutely.
From what I've heard from Ongrono, at least this side talk, I think this is pretty good, and this is definitely not a good stage for Cloud. Cloud wants to have very small, up-close, personal stages where he can just sort of abuse you, put you into situations that you don't want to be in. But Terry is very good at just picking when he wants to do anything. If you have a big stage where you can just choose to go in when you want, it's very, very good.
Oh, nice coming out. Like it's like a baseball coming at him. Just hits him right back. The Omni Slash connecting, but not going to kill on Grono. Now getting to a somewhat dangerous percentage here, but for board, I mean, it could very easily turn into a high percentage for him as well. Just back shooting away to build up some space and going straight through him. Has a go. Will he be able to hit the go button here as he is able to get back up? That was so scary that he didn't connect with the ledge. Maybe intentional, but a very, very awkward situation to be in now. And really don't want to be whiffing big moves like that so close to Terry while he's got go meter. If he is ready for it, then, I mean, that is just a bust-a-woof you're going to eat.
Yeah, it's, scary percent for Cloud. Cloud's really high, but, one more hit on Terry is going to mean death. Oh, doesn't manage to actually grab the ledge. It's very sad, But Terry does have a lot of options versus, Cloud. So hopefully they'll be able to do a lot.
Good parry.
Oh, very good kill confirm. Oh
that
my
was
God.
sick. That was so sick.
I think that was only true because he fell off of stage, I'm pretty sure, and so he couldn't tech. But yeah, that was very, very good positional awareness from Ongrono.
Now we're back to this kind of neutral game, both sides evening out here. I mean, this is going to be the last match of the night right here, and it's pretty down to the wire so far. Ongrono has he's slightly behind in life, but that is barely a thing anymore as that crack shoot full connects here. Nice projectile coming out from board, spending limit on that, and now just zoning him out, and he's going to be able to connect just barely. Getting back up, he's got go again. Power dunking onto the top platform here, trying to just get back on stage.
Being able to, power guys are coming out. It could have meant death for Cloud. Being able to get, that kills?
That was,
wow.
He was so close to just stopping right on the edge there, but Ongrono going to be able to pick up that Bust-a-Wolf and a nice down air is going to send on Grono back outboard.
And this is the stock of
Moving things
champions,
up.
you know. Last players, last stock, 0% perfectly even, you know. It's down to the wire right now, you know. Terry being able to have that go meter is very vital, but in this situation, really don't want to get go. You know, you don't really want to be at 100.
Yeah, that is a scary spot to be in. That is when the match is going to be, you know, really, really volatile here. And for Grono, I mean, he's got a nice lead here. He's going to be able to punish the up B with another power dunk. Now, Ford just trying to get back up on stage. Has to play into Grono, has to try and land next to him. We are in FD mode right now, which Cloud is going to love, but so will Terry as he approaches.
And right now, Terry's picking his fights really well. That's really what you want to do, sort of play back, you know, let Cloud approach onto you. That's the name of the game with FGC characters, you know. Cloud's kind of a rushdown, but with FGC, you just want to play back, you know, have them hit your shield because you have some great options out of that.
Board slowly charging up some limit here, close to getting it, and we'll be able to pick it up off of that power wave. But not, he misses it, and he's going to get punished for that. Another power dunk comes through, almost takes him off the top 140% right now, and there it is!
Oh, that was so stressful. You know, last stock, 0%, last players, game 3, it would have been over for SNHU if they lost that. Very, very stressful and very sad for, you know, New England Tech Tigers. But that Little Mac, you know, they should, I don't even think they should consider this a loss.
Oh, they made it so far off of the Mac. That was such
a
scary Mac. And now, I mean, what a great way to end the night, too.
Yeah.
The first time we go to Game 3, we go down to the final stock. Terry versus Cloud, a great matchup, you know, very much a skill matchup.
Good, well played by all. You know, both teams did insanely well. You know, that Lil Mac definitely surprised us. But, you know, Terry, you know, and Min Min just came out with just being able to take, like, wipe entire teams.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That is what a great night, once again, for Smash. They always put on a fantastic show. Always great to tune in every single week. Get to see them come out here, play their absolute best. That will be all for us tonight, sadly. But if you want more, you can check out us on Twitter at SNHU Esports. You will find all sorts of clips there, as well as updates on anything going on or in or around the arena, especially our new, we just announced today we're doing a Fortnite Duos tournament this weekend. If you're interested in that, it's on this Saturday at 3 p.m. You can find all the details on our Twitter, as well as be able to sign up there. Should be a lot of fun, and it will be streamed, of course, here on twitch.tv/SNHU Esports. But yeah, that's all for us tonight. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back tomorrow night with League of Legends. We'll see you there. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Have a good one.